Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. Today, we're talking about 5 things you should not drop in those DMs. And we have State Senator London Lamar in the building. Yeah. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. I'm here with my wonderful, wonderful co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods in the building.
Yeah.
Angelica, what's that in your cup? DJ Kojak in the building. DJ Kojak, what's that?
Other cup. Hey, yo, man, we here, and we ready for it. We ready for it.
DJ Kojak is the only person that I know that virtually scratches in the air. Without, he's sending energy to the turntable when he scratches. So y'all, hey, you see him scratching in the air, mind your own business. All right. Hey, DJ Kojak, what's that Angelica got in her cup, man?
Man, I don't know. This is definitely not the first bottle she picked up. It's 2 over there. I see 2 over there.
Get a shot of this, man.
That is so sad.
All right, Mountain Dew, right?
Mount.
Water. Actually, I'm focused on hydration.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a little tired.
You're a little tired. Mountain water.
Oh, actually, I have Red Bull.
Uh-huh.
Parkinson brought some Red Bull, and I'm so excited because I sure need. I'm so tired.
Right. DJ Kojak, you know, a lot of things going on, man. You know, you hear a lot about women saying, you know, they get an attitude because folks jumping in their DM, right? DJ Kojak, 5 things you should not send to a woman's DM.
Oh, my God. First of all, you hit me with that one. You say you shouldn't even be in there. I'm definitely not in there. But the one thing you don't send in personal information, especially somebody you don't know.
That's interesting.
No personal information, because they will find you and they will hunt you.
Send them your Cash App information too.
Oh yeah, man. And believe it or not, I know some people that actually fell for that and got taken down there through. Next thing you know, you got this picture of.
Wow.
I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
So don't send that. I don't care how cute the picture look.
Angelica Jelly Woods, a person who is experienced with folks jumping in her DM.
Speak.
You saying your DM dry? Just like that cup, right?
Yeah. I promise. Somebody send into my DM. The most people would say it's like, "Hey, beautiful" or something.
Right. What's 5 things that you should not do when jumping in somebody's DM?
First of all, you should just never call nobody from the inbox thing. That is so creepy. There's people I haven't even known just call from the inbox.
Man, I did that one time. This girl blocked me.
Yeah, exactly. What made you do that?
Because I was just being cute and trying to be funny, and she didn't find it very funny at all.
What was cute about it?
Right, and she was like, I asked you not to call me randomly, right? But you know, it was on COVID, right?
Yeah.
You know, and we wasn't dating or anything. We just, you know, Facebook friends, right? And I thought it was cute that she was saying it, right? And so I was doing it trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Blocked.
Oh my
that
God.
happened to my friend. She was like married at the time, and this guy from like her past, we bumped into him out, and that just like urged him to like call her repeatedly, like all night on Facebook, and that caused like this big old riffraff, you know, because you know, husband like what, and, you know, calling you the phone. He just wanted to call her. I don't know why he would call. Maybe it was liquor or something.
Why do you think he was calling?
I know, but I'm saying. You just don't do that. I mean, he called repeatedly.
Wow. DJ Kojak, you ever got that call from somebody on Messenger or on a video call, you know, that was unsolicited?
At an awkward moment. Real awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting Kojak right now.
Yeah, you know.
I'm too busy watching Rico over there. I guess shout out to Rico. He gets committed, okay? He don't feel good. He making sure our sound is right. Some people ain't even on the job. Ain't nothing wrong with them. And they just look
because man, you've been hazing Rico. Rico struggling over there, and you've been hazing.
Saying that's shout out.
Right.
I was giving him a compliment.
Yeah.
I was giving him a compliment. That's dedication. Because some people won't even show up and ain't nothing wrong with him. He don't feel
Right.
good.
Right.
He's still showing up.
Right.
That was a compliment.
So Angelica, in your single days though, dudes when jumping in your DMs, you trying to skirt the question.
Oh yeah. All right. The most unattractive thing you can do is send a unsolicited picture of your man parts. Hello? Anybody? Okay. Oh, he gonna put some crickets there. Yeah, watch.
DJ Kojak, you ever been a victim of a woman sending you her unsolicited woman
He
parts?
wouldn't care. He'd probably be happy to see him.
Hey.
I'm talking about your past life, not now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You gotta get a disclaimer. He said, okay.
No, I ain't never had to deal with that. Right?
That man over there pleading the 5th and the 6th and the 7th and the 8th and the 9th and the 10th.
Everything is, about Jesus and good positive messages coming through my DM.
Right, they sending you the graphic,
Encouragements.
right, with the praying
Yeah,
hands
audio,
and the
audio
ribbon
with
hanging from the
with
hand.
scripture over it.
Up and down my DM. That's all you see.
Right.
That's good.
Amen.
Yeah, Angelica. I mean, DJ Kojak. One last question on that. In your heyday,
Okay.
you're right. In your days before today,
Hold that.
right? Did you jump in the women's DM? What did you send them?
Well, they ain't had DMs back then.
Oh Lord.
What
we're
was
getting
like your
Kojak.
line? Like when you went out, what was like your line that you asked somebody? I want to know. Because I can't see. I don't even know what. I don't know. You one of the people that say you've been running through my mind all day. You must be tired or something.
Nah,
Right.
You give me them vibes.
Heaven must have lost an angel
Yeah,
because
he give me them vibes. What
little
you
Willie
say?
Hutch. No, I just
Yeah.
say,
you say I choose you.
yeah, nah.
What you say?
Well, I leave with, do you have at least $50,000?
Oh. 50,000 what?
That sparks, that sparks the conversation.
You gonna give him something? Then you gonna give him the money?
Well, I'm trying to see if they have it.
Oh, heck, I would have walked off.
Man, I leave with Kojak. I leave with put your number in my phone before I change my mind.
Ah.
I hear you.
Hey, look, and it's so crazy and catch people off guard so much they laugh at it, right? And then next thing you know, because the old school hustlers told me 2 things you do:
Oh, here they
make
go.
a woman
these.
laugh,
And what else?
and right. Look, Rico nodding his head.
He feel all right. He feel all right now.
Hey,
Oh,
those of y'all that's watching,
Oh,
what's the 2 things that you need to do that'll keep a woman? 2 things: make her laugh, and what else? Fill in the blanks. What's the other one?
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Angelica, Angelica, what does keep a woman? What actions that can a man do to keep a woman? What's the basics?
Well, the only thing, somebody's signaling on my right. Money.
Right.
That was not me. We're gonna put her face up on the edited.
Right, that is hilarious.
I
Who
think-
was
I
it?
think-
Name that person.
LaContier Williams,
LaContier said the money.
formerly Connie.
Right.
According to her
money,
Facebook post.
money.
But no, I think you have to have support. You definitely have to have fun and laugh. I think and let the person just be them. I think that's how you be kept. But you have to get somebody that wants to be kept, because you can have all the money, you can make them do all those things, what you gonna say, and laugh. But if she don't want to be kept, and vice versa, they ain't gonna be kept.
Oh, is that right? DJ Kojak, what advice can you give to women that will make them keep their man?
Oh Lord, don't let him take you down. Now he about to set you up for the okie doke. But go ahead.
Spoken from a woman. Of
Go
course,
ahead.
right.
How can you keep a woman? I mean, how can a woman keep a man?
I mean, well, actually, it's not much we require.
Okay, while we're being Kojak, y'all that's watching on the audience, watching on live, y'all chime in. What are the top 3 things that men need to do to keep a woman? Top 3 things that women need to do to keep a man? DJ Kojak, what is it?
It's not many things that's required.
He telling the truth.
Basic, simple.
I already know what he gonna say.
Peace.
Ooh, peace.
That's at the top of the list. Peace.
Right.
Definitely gotta have peace. Everything else fall in line after that.
Now, Kojak.
Uh-oh. I get that shot of Kojak, please.
You heard this line. Are you
Come on
serious?
with it. Come on with it.
Most worst. I'm gonna say worldly men. I'm gonna say that they would say, a meal. They want good cooked meals. Somebody that feeds them, a good stomach, of course. Satisfaction, whatever you deem that to be.
On the regular.
Yes, and I would say peace. They want some space, and they don't want all that nagging. let them kind of just breathe and let them be them, and that's about it. But some men's problem is they want peace, but they are not a peace giver.
You know what
In order to give peace, you get peace. You gotta give peace. And
Oh
that's
Lord,
what
she's
men
starting in
miss.
their preacher's
Almost
cadence.
went down.
Ah,
Give
right.
peace.
Right. In old school hustlers, all the old school hustlers, they give me the instruction when I walk past the park.
Oh,
They be in the park
gosh.
drinking MD.
Yeah.
Right. They're the ones that told me about the two
I'm
things.
starting to think he
right?
making these folks
Right,
suck their
right,
fit when he's
right.
saying he
Look,
do
look,
that.
Hey, they said two things a woman must do: keep the dudes blank, empty, and keep his stomach full.
That what I see. I didn't say it the worldly way. I try to say it nicely.
You did.
Well,
you
you
said it
figured
in
it
the
out.
Polly
You
Pierre Hart.
figured it out.
Polly Pierre Hart version of it. Yep, that's
You
true.
figured it out.
Yeah, and my
See,
dad
see.
always said you can't tell men too much. You can't give them too much instruction. I ain't gonna tell you the rest of the advice because you're gonna clip me. But you got to keep it basic and
But
kind of
You're gonna get clipped anyway. So
and kind of appease.
you might as
them.
well go on and say it.
You gotta. A man likes to be praised and appreciated. I think appreciation is very important, even for the smallest things. Like,
Definitely.
such a good job.
But do you think that's a blanket statement though? Do you think that's blanket? Do you think that's
do you
all
mean?
men, or is it just personality based?
No, men like appreciation, whether they want to admit it or not. They may not know they may not know they like it because they never have received it. But if they have received it, they like it.
Oh, I think men are bigger on respect than anything.
Oh,
But past
but
that
that's a
Mountain Dew
form
that
of
you're
that's
holding
a-
over there.
I don't know what you're talking about, but that is a form of appreciation. Appreciation is respect. You can't be disrespectful and show appreciation. How does that work?
Well, a lot of times, I think let's transition into that. What are the top 5 deal breakers in a relationship?
Deal breaker.
Top 5,
Top
Kojak.
five.
What are the top 5 things that a woman can do that was in the relationship for you?
You just, the segue was wonderful, man. Respect.
Yeah, it was.
Respect. Lack of respect.
Lack of
When the
respect
respect
is one.
gone, it's over.
Right.
Did she call you out your name?
That's
Like cuss you out?
disrespectful.
No, everybody may not think that's disrespectful.
Well,
They do like you.
yeah,
you'd be
it's like
surprised.
like he said, it's not a one fit.
Like,
It's not a one
you
fit
love
all.
me.
Mhm.
You love me.
Mhm.
Right. Some
Yeah.
some
They love
people
it.
are toxic though. Some
Yeah.
people truly
Yeah,
are
they
toxic.
like that.
Yeah,
not
that's why I said it's
disrespectful.
not a one size fit all.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
it's whatever
Okay.
your relationship. Outside of that,
Yeah, I feel like we've been Kojak though.
Right.
Angelica. 'Cause I said
Disrespect. We
top
got to keep
5.
it focused.
Okay.
Disrespect and what else?
Because he named one thing for about 5 minutes there. What? So disrespect.
disrespect, drama.
Drama. Ooh,
Yeah, especially drama.
Mess.
Can't do it.
Messiness.
There you go, mess.
Yeah.
There you go. That's another strong one now.
Yeah.
Go up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Kojak.
I know,
Okay,
come on, Kojak.
Kojak
Look,
dragging this thing
I know,
along.
come on
Okay,
now.
Angelica, top 5 deal breakers in a relationship. What you got?
Definitely disrespect.
Bam.
That's number one.
Uh-huh.
Infidelity is a deal breaker.
Infidelity is a deal breaker.
Being in secret competition or envy definitely is a deal
Oh.
breaker. For
Mm.
me.
And they do that. People
They
do that. Right?
Like, y'all gotta be teammates. Y'all gotta work together. We
Yeah.
don't work against each other, but everybody don't see that. Okay.
yeah, your makeup prettier than his.
Yeah, exactly. He take longer than you do, or he got a problem with you doing something, or more money you make. It has to be. That can be a deal breaker. And I'm trying to think what else would be a deal breaker. I think you do that. That's it. And being too, not wandery eye, because you can be friendly. And just, I guess, being unmotivated, it don't have hope. A man with no hope is just, or not visionary, or that's a deal breaker for me. You got to have some kind of hope and some kind of motivation, Okay, you just gonna be extra fine. You just gonna be extra fine. Tiptoe up in here like ain't
Walk
nothing
on,
going
walk right on up in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on.
man.
Damn.
State Senator London Lamar walked in this thing like,
Right.
bam,
Baby, where?
bam.
Baby,
I don't
where?
even want to ask her what the top 5 deal breakers are because folks gonna be crying
Gonna
on
walk
the
in
internet.
here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
State
5 deal breakers.
Senator London Lamar in the building. Y'all
What?
Turn up.
Yeah.
Now
State
what-
Senator London Lamar is in the building, and I gotta ask you, top 5 deal breakers in a relationship. What's the top 5 things somebody can do to break the deal?
Being a liar, disloyal.
Mm.
Let me find out you had these questions before you walked in here.
Don't keep your word.
Mm.
Under 5'10".
Oh,
And
disqualified a whole population of folks.
remember, I am 5'10", so and I'm like 6'3" in my heels, so I just don't want to have to go through the innocent attack. But not supporting my ambitions, my dreams.
Yeah.
Okay.
We about lined up.
We about lined up?
Yep. We use
Yep.
different words, but we're lined up.
Man, State Senator London Lamar just dropped in the building, y'all.
Yes,
Look,
sir.
we are excited to have her. And look, we've been waiting on this interview for a long time.
Let's
The public been
go.
waiting
I
on it
mean,
for a
you
long
know,
time.
like you told me we about to talk
Yeah, we
today,
about to
so
Oh, okay.
I'm ready to talk.
I'm ready.
Right, yeah. And we got you on. That's Mountain Dew.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
I love it.
We're gonna make sure we take care of you.
Yeah.
State Senator London Lamar, you are the youngest senator
Amazing.
in the Tennessee legislature. Scratch it up 2 times for Coach
Yeah.
Jay. Yeah, right. Right. You heard that scratch.
I heard it.
Yeah, right. And so let's talk about that. Was that always the ambition?
So I want to give shout. I'm the youngest woman, the youngest African American to ever serve in Tennessee Senate history.
Wow. That's
And
big.
recently just found out I'm the first sitting senator to give birth. So I am very proud of all of those accolades, not because I have them per se, but because of the honor of breaking glass ceilings for all those that's coming behind me and giving young folks an example of that you're never too young to be in a position to make change and influence your community, if that's what your calling is. I knew I wanted to do something around leadership, and I liked the idea of politics even when I was a little girl, because in high school I was the one doing student government and stuff like that,
Okay.
class
You was already
president.
doing it,
So I was
yeah.
already kind of interested in this type of work. I never dreamed of until I got here that I would be able to do it so young. So it is an honor and a blessing and a great responsibility that I take seriously to be in this world. And I'm only 33 and I've been in the legislature 6 years. So I got elected at 27 and came in at 28, one of the two. It was definitely a learning curve. I'm not too cocky to say that I didn't know everything. I'm in my 20s still, so I'm not only in a position of power, but I'm growing in life at the same time and doing all those things while being in the public eye and being held to a higher standard. And so throughout my time, not only have I grown as a person, but I've also grown as a legislator and truly have really found my footing and how I want to make my impact on the state of Tennessee, but also my impact on society. I think now, not only am I at a place where I want to get good policy, that's why we all run for office, but I also am using my role to give other young people opportunity to come up. See, one of the biggest things that I've always regretted is that I don't really have an older mentor who I can actually identify, especially a
we gotta
woman.
talk about
I
that
think
too.
that's important to the
It
point. I think
is.
a woman should definitely have stepped up and officiated herself, who's been in this game for a while, as a mentor. She saw me rising into this role, and I don't have that, and I've been treated as if I'm form of competition, and maybe to some I am, because I am London Lamar. But at the end of the day,
Okay.
You are who?
London Lamar.
There's only one, right?
Only one.
Only one.
Only
Promote.
one. But at the same time, we gotta also be okay with understanding the fact that there has to be a generational change in leadership. And so why don't I take on the one who is opening doors and is out here trying to do it in a real genuine way? So instead of just being upset about that, I decided that now I'm in this role, I'm gonna do that for the ones behind me.
Amen.
So when I look at my
Y'all give it up for
staff,
that. We got that.
You're
Yeah,
being what you
yeah.
needed. You're
yeah,
being
my staff young, when
I
I
fired staff too. They fired too.
they fire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
send them a shout
hungry.
out. Send them a shout out.
I want to shout out to all my staff I've had throughout the year. Lee Smith, who's graduating from Loyola Law School in 2 months. I'm going up there for his graduation. My girl, Mackenzie Mosby, who's now the Director of Policy for Ed Trust. I want to shout out to my campaign manager, now my Director of Policy, Caitlin Thompson.
Caitlin,
and
keep it holding it down. Caitlin,
Baby,
what's up?
Caitlin be holding it down. And then I just hired a new young person. His name is Shamar Nash from Memphis. He's now my new executive assistant. And then, of course, I have Brandon Putbreeze, who's been there, has so much institutional knowledge as my communications director. So
Well, you got to tell people what your title is, because you naming off all this staff. Tell them what your title is.
So I'm chairwoman of the Senate Democratic Caucus, which means I run the political arm of the Senate Democratic Caucus, or the minority caucus of people. See, you have Democrat and Republican in the legislature. The Republicans are considered the majority and the Democrats are the minority because we are smaller in numbers. So I'm one of 1 or 2 leaders in the Senate who serve in that role. This is the first time in the Senate that 2 Black women are in the top 2 leadership roles. Big shout out to Senator Ramesh Akberry
Shout
as
out
the
to
minority
Akberry.
leader.
Yeah.
Yes, the first African American female minority leader in the Senate Minority Caucus. So I'm just thankful to be able to serve with her and be able to lead with her. And she's a little bit older than me, but still young. So not only can she align with me on a lot of young people issues, but she can also serve as somewhat a person who wants to help me as well, because she has more institutional knowledge by being there longer. So, I'm also, proud that of my growth, and I feel like I've been jaded by Black women, but also have come to love the Black women that I work with. To try the Black women that I work with to see them as my sisters and my allies versus my competition.
Yes.
So, I really love the Black women that I serve with, Senator Akberry and Senator Oliver. We all represent Memphis and Nashville, and we're all the 3 top leaders. And I hope that we're setting an example of how Black women can collectively work together while also being different. And that's the standard that I think that we have to put forth in the Senate, in the upper chamber, of really setting the standard of what it's like to be a formidable legislator, but also what it's like to be yourself and be able to get things done. And that's also my brand.
Man, that's what's up.
Like, that's my brand.
Hey, look, we're coming right back to State Senator London Lamar. We're going to talk about being jaded by other Black women.
Ooh, don't
We're
get-
also
don't
going
get
to
me
talk
started.
about her humble starts,
Yes.
and we got a whole lot more to talk about with State Senator London Lamar. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project, the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods, in the building.
Hey, y'all, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
one of my students came in here and turned up, so
Man.
I'm excited about this. Okay,
What?
my whole vibe done changed.
Man, DJ Kojak in the building. Scratch it up for him 4 times, DJ Kojak.
Bam.
Bam.
Yeah,
London
like that.
Lamar, State Senator in the
What's
building. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on,
So
man.
State Senator London Lamar, we left off with you feeling a little jaded from Black women sometimes. Well,
Oh,
first
Jesus.
of all, you probably been jaded by Black women for a long time, way before you became the state senator, right? And we're gonna come to that, but I do want to go back to this. First time I saw London Lamar, she was not the senator at the time. She was working for Stand for Children at the time, and I was invited to a presentation. She was giving the presentation. So I'm sitting back in the cut, just laying back quietly, right, just chilling, watching. And then I see London come in and start her presentation, and I'm looking like, Kojak, you know, we've been in the music business for a long time.
For a long time.
We know star material when we see it, right?
Yes.
I'm looking at this woman, young. How old were you back then?
24.
Were you even 24? Okay, 24 years old.
Mm.
I'm looking at this woman like, this is a doggone superstar. Real talk, seriously. Because, you know it when you see it, especially if you've been in the business that we've been in, right? Marketability, you know, beauty, intelligence,
Presence.
right? Presence,
Presence
right?
key.
Ambition, drive, go get it, hustle, right? And I'm looking like, I'm serious, because you don't see it all the time where one person has everything that it takes to be a superstar, right? Real talk, seriously. And when I saw her that first time, I said, oh shit. She created what I call that oh shit moment, right? Oh shit, who is this, right? And that's where we met. And I've been telling her, and I'll let her tell it, but you're special.
Yeah.
You can't squander this away because you are special. Real talk.
Yeah.
You remember them conversations? Yeah, seriously. And it's showing, you know, in everything that she's doing and everything that she's working on. And I always tell her too this, you know, your story is being written.
Yeah.
So all of the bumps and the bruises and, you know, and the things that you deal with, it's you take it with, you know, take it with a grain of salt, because your story is being written. And it ain't even close to being finished yet.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yes.
So let's talk about women being jaded. You wasn't jaded
Well,
for the
first
first
of all,
time.
thank you for that. I really need to hear that in that moment. So I do want to give a shout out for you for being like one of my ride or dies from the beginning. Like, he has stuck by me thin and thick and thin, like been there for me, bedside to the high heels of the legislature. And I just want to say thank you for being a good friend to me. I love you, Parkinson.
Yeah,
But I just
I
want
love you too.
All right, now off that emotional
Now,
stuff,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
get back to it. Let's get
I
to
was
the
feeling
business.
gooey for a second.
I know it's okay though.
Look at Michelle, little eyes welling up over there. Look. Yeah, but let's talk about that. You
Yes.
know, so tell us about your upbringing. Tell us about and shout out to Emily Lamar. We see Emily.
Yeah.
Well, I know she probably watching. I'm sure she watching.
Yes.
But
If she don't have playing with the baby right now.
right, incredible support. Your mom and your grandmom. So let's tell us about the beginning. What shaped London Lamar?
So I was raised by strong women, my mother and my grandmother. They are just the epitome of love and just really investing in your children's gift. So I was talking with some educators the other day, and they said, how did you become who you are? I said, my mama didn't stifle who I was. She just built on the daughter she saw that was evolving. She
So
saw
how God wired you.
that's how God wired me. I don't believe I'm here by accident. I believe God put me here for a reason. This is his mission.
Ooh, we gotta
He
clap
set
y'all.
out for
Come
me.
on, y'all. Purpose, baby.
Thank you.
Purpose.
For real, that's purpose and everything,
Right.
and God will reveal your purpose. But so he my mom and my grandmother just kind of like helped create what was manifesting. It was so interesting. My grandma and her friends, they used to have this social club. So they used to plan trips and things all the time. So I was nosy and wanted to be involved. So I used to stand around the table, seeing them plan things, working with the other women in their social club, like getting together, having activities, planning out of town trips. And I'll be right there with my grandma playing all of those things. While my mama kept me engaged in activities, church, community services. That manifested to London becoming who I was. So when I got to middle and high school, they didn't have to make me get involved in student council and all of these different clubs. I wanted to because I watched my mom and grandmother stay engaged. Even though we didn't have much, we were a working class family. My mom worked at FedEx. My grandmother was a nurse. And my dad lived out of town. And so they gave their last dime to be able to give me these opportunities. And so I was engaged and I was involved, and I know I wanted to do politics. So let me tell you what's so funny. After school, I used to do my homework. Sitting there with my mama. She used to watch Oprah at 4:00 every day and Action News 5 at 5.
Right.
Behind back to back. So I was watching
Channel
Oprah.
5's gonna love that.
Right.
Right.
So I'm like,
Right,
you know,
right.
watching Oprah talking about real stuff going on in the world. So I'm taking it in, not realizing I'm taking it in. So I'm in high school, like running, talking about real issues and stuff. And then my senior year of high school, Barack Obama became president of the United States.
Oh, Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was applying to college at that time as an engineering major because I was good at math. And I was like, a black woman in STEM make a lot of money. I wanted to, set myself up real good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something about seeing him on that stage that night with his black wife and his black children that just changed my whole world.
Yeah.
And I called the colleges I was going to. I said, I don't want to do engineering no more. I want to come as a political science major. And I did. And I never turned back. And so while at St. Mary's College, Notre Dame, Indiana, I majored.
Wait. St. Mary's. Tell us what St. Mary's
St.
is
Mary's
like.
College is located in Notre Dame. We're the sister school to University of Notre Dame,
Okay.
part of the Congressional of the Holy Cross. It was an all-women's liberal arts college.
HBCU.
No, it's not an HBCU.
Iowa.
It was a strong PWI.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
school was actually like 2% African American.
2%.
Like it was
Iowa.
out of
So
like
basically it wasn't two, but two of y'all.
it was
Right,
only
right.
a few, and
Right,
that's including
right,
the
right.
mixed girls too.
Yeah.
Right.
So like when I say all white, it was all white, but it was cool. Like I met
All
great
white,
friends.
everything.
Listen, white people
Right.
be the best fun. We don't be on.
They
none
taught me
extra. They gonna
everything.
turn- Thank
Right.
you. They gonna have a good time.
We had a good time. I had a
Thank
good time at my
Right.
small.
Right.
Like when Notre Dame football games on the weekends, tailgating with them. It was an
It's
experience.
a different type of tailgate.
It's a different type
Thank
of tailgate.
you. See, okay.
Judgment free
ADHD.
tailgating.
Right.
Okay.
Judgment free.
Hey, Angelica became black during Black History Month this
Yeah.
year. So
They
She's
she's a
tailgate.
black girl from Iowa.
Here it's about food and barbecue. No, them
Right.
white people in tailgating.
Right.
3 in the morning. They pull up.
yeah, they diving into little bitty pools and everything, right? In
Kids.
the frozen weather, right?
Yeah.
It was a fun time. But while I was there, I stayed engaged and got involved in all this other stuff. And then Barack Obama was running for re-election. I started a Young Democrats Club on campus at my college. And I got all of these girls who I thought were conservative because we had a Catholic, rich liberal arts university. Next thing I had my first meeting, sis. It was like 60 girls in the room. And they were like, oh, we didn't know it was Democrats on campus. We're liberal. We're like, and I was like,
Right.
oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
So we did all of these activities. I registered people on campus to vote. We went to go see Barack Obama when he came to Ohio. We just did all of these great things. And then I also had the opportunity to live in Washington, D.C. for a semester and do the Washington semester program where I interned and worked on Capitol Hill for our Congressman Steve Cohen while also going to school at
know that.
American
Okay.
University. And I was able to like go to these think tanks. I went to a Supreme Court hearing. I did all of these things on both Democrat, Republican to see how politics work. It from that experience for me and that activism on campus for me ignited a strategy of how do I get to office on a long-term trajectory. And so I thought when I was graduated, I was going to be able to come back to DC, but we coming from a single parent household. I didn't have no job. I couldn't afford rent in DC. So I was forced to come home to Memphis and make it work. So I'm starting from ground zero.
Yeah, but by design though. You might
By
not
design.
might not realize
Right.
it at the time.
Right.
Right. By design. If you had the money, you wouldn't be in your purpose.
Absolutely, because I thought this door at DC was closed. My
Right.
feelings hurt, but it's really God's like, go through this door.
Yeah.
I got some plan for you. So I started from scratch in Memphis. I started working at this small political consulting firm, learning how to run campaigns on a very, very grassroots level. I didn't have a job, wasn't making but like $1,000 a month. It was real low budget. But there, it was so small, it was on me to help design the literature, the designs, the grassroots, and the field plans for these candidates. So I was learning, I was volunteering, I was doing everything. I was literally making people's push cards on Microsoft Word.
Damn.
Like I learned,
That's
taught
that's
myself
archaic.
graphics. Arcade, right.
Right.
Like
The shit
learning
you ought to feel
everything.
good.
This was
That's
still
archaic.
before Canva,
Right.
Before Canva. This was 2013. But computers were working, obviously.
Right.
But I also started getting involved in the local Democratic Party. And at that time, I looked around. I was like, oh, y'all got a lot of influence in Memphis because most of the people in office in Memphis are Democrats. But I saw no young people at the table. None.
I remember them days.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's at the Union Hall. I
Right.
mean, I understand the means kind of boring, but, obviously these folks had some sort of influence. So I started trying to get involved and like, people welcome me, but they wanted me to work the sign-in table. And respectfully, I'll work the sign-in table. Why? Because you get to meet every person and walk through the door. And they got to meet.
See, that's what. Hold on.
Perspective.
See, say it again.
Yes, perspective. People
Say it
look at
again.
yeah.
Most people be like complaining. I got to work the sign-in table. You're touching every person that comes in.
Exactly.
That's Right. Come
strategy.
on. Right.
So,
The art
but
of war, the art of
I'm
war.
doing the sign-in table and I want decision-making power. So I realized, okay, it's going to be hard getting one of these little seats. So let me create my own entity. So I recreated the Young Democrats in Memphis because I knew you couldn't kick out another Democratic entity. So let me do one that's go align with my passion, young people. So I made it fun. So I started off trying to raise like $100 here, like doing a little car wash at AutoZone, and I was like trying to come up to the meetings and hosting our meetings before the big Democratic Party meetings to encourage young people to stay over, and it was working. And so we would like try to do something in line with the parties a lot, and it worked. So we got more and more young people involved. I had my meetings at bars and restaurants and
where young people want to be.
Where young people want to be.
People want to be there too.
Right.
Look, I would show up at the Young Dems meeting.
Right. I know that's right. You sure did.
Right.
Because I had to make it fun. Like, let's be real. Like, it's all about marketing. Don't nobody want to come into no union hall and hear a bunch of folks talking and complaining. Like, let's get some stuff done over a beer or some nachos or whatever that looks like.
Right.
So I kept engaged with that, started the Memphis chapter, and then I became the president of the state chapter, and I replicated this model across the state of Tennessee, in Nashville, Chattanooga, Knoxville, and was getting a statewide coalition of young people engaged. And I was branding it. I was making it pop, and I was making it flashy. I was making it like the political organization to be involved. I was making it London Lamar, but I was making it the new generation of leaders. Making it hip, making it flash. So that is my strategist hat coming in the branding hat, because now this is 2014, 15, 16. That stuff is starting to like build up in the world. Then I ran for office at 23 and I lost. And I was a little devastated.
I don't remember that.
I ran for the state executive committee for Senate District 33.
Okay, I remember now.
In 2014.
I remember.
I was on the ballot and I got whooped by Allison Brownlee.
I remember that. I remember.
But I stayed involved, and that's after that I started work for Stand for Children, getting involved in education. That's where he met me. And I started working on education policy, start organizing in community, and start linking the connection between people, policy, and politics. It was starting to become real for me around a certain issue. And so now I was developing my professionalism and my knowledge around actual issues that people care about. Because when I first ran for office, I was just running. I'm like, I went to college. I got a degree in political science. I passionate, vote for me. Like, I had to let my ego and put that to the side and be like, okay, that's not enough. Like, what have you done? And I haven't really done much yet. I mean, I did a little, but nothing to the degree that other folks have. So I stayed and worked there for a while, went on to work for a women's reproductive organization, did women's healthcare advocacy, did all of that. And by this time, it's 4 years later. Congruently, I am still traveling the state and the country. I was running for executive vice president of the National Young Democrats organization. I was a vice chair of the Black Caucus then. Like, I'm just really spreading my influence around a nation of young people and the Democratic apparatus. Now it's coming to 2017. I find out that Lee Harris running for county mayor. He actually called me. He was like, I want to let you know I'm running for county mayor, and I know that there may be some shifts. You need to start looking because I know you want to run for office.
And where was he at that time?
He was in the state senate.
That's right. That's right. Shout out to Lee Harris, done the show last time.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And then found that, so I was, putting conversations out there, find out Ramesh was going to run for his seat. And then that means the District 91 seat where I live was opening up. So I said, it's 4 years later. I'm about to go.
Hold it. So listen, did y'all catch the chain reaction of movement, right? Lee Harris, one move. Lee Harris said he was going to run for county mayor. That set off the reaction for what?
Ramesh to move.
To where?
To the Senate.
To Lee Harris's seat, which opened up what?
My ability to get in the state house.
Because Ramesh was leaving her state representative seat
to go
run for state senate, which opened up a spot for. So everything touches everything. Y'all see that? The domino effect, right? Because Lee Harris said, I'm going to run for mayor. It opened up a whole domino effect.
And I just thought about this now. All of us were young.
Yes.
Lee, Ramesh, and me.
That's right.
The young folks set an example of how you really do it.
Right.
I never thought about like that.
Young folks too. Y'all got me messed up. Got me messed up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm unk right now. I'm unk.
Yeah.
Right, but go ahead.
So anyway, we made the move. I decided to run for office. I put announced on my 27th birthday, and we were off. A month later, I lost my job because of not being able. They didn't want to for me to do both. Cool, that's whatever. So I had a little 401k from Stand for Children. So I emptied out the little 401k I had, paid my rent up for the next couple of months. My mama and daddy helped pitch in on my bills, and at the time I was dating somebody, and he bought my food. That was it.
Whoa. We can't walk past that.
Damn, you just said
You
food,
got to
though.
be
That
your
was low ball. Damn,
food.
food.
So he's buying the food. So that tell you at the level
Yeah.
of
Grind at the bottom.
Right.
I wanted this. I gave up everything.
Right. Rolling
Like,
them dice.
Like,
Cash it
for
all
real.
in.
Like,
Cash it all in.
I just had a moment, God.
That's why I stopped you.
Like, for real.
For real. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I became my own campaign manager, and I took all the experiences that I talked about from when I graduated college, started at that firm, all the skills, and I came up with my own field plan. I designed my own literature. I made my own website. I came up with my own fundraising. I did every single thing. I taught myself how to use Photoshop. Yeah. Just because I didn't have a lot of resources, so I had to do it all on my own. And that was the value of being a young person. We were technologically advanced with these new graphics and branding tools that we can use. And I thought my stuff looked good too. And I canvass every day from about 11 a.m. to 2, 3, 4 o'clock.
Break that down for people.
Day.
What does that mean to canvas?
Canvas means knocking on doors.
Right.
So because, I feel like getting fired was the thing that made me win.
It freed you up.
It freed me up.
Right.
It launched you.
It launched me, and I was already a runner at the time,
Right.
so I was super in shape. So I
remember them days.
right, I used to love running.
I pull up on. I take my car to
God.
the Mercedes shop on Cooper, and who running by with the dog? London. Right. But that's important though, and I want to go back to the fact that you were fired, which then freed your time up to canvas, right? I always say there's purpose in everything, right? When you and now, I'm sure at the time you were fired, you was like, I don't understand this, right? What is happening?
For 2 seconds, I was like, I'm free.
Right. And so you never know what purpose is serving. You think you're going through a hardship,
Right.
But there's a purpose in it, right? And if you were not, if it freed you up to knock on them doors.
It freed me up to knock on the doors, and I was consistent about it because sometimes, even if you have the time, if you don't know what to do with that free time, you will lose it and abuse it. But I wanted this so bad because at this point, I didn't gave up. I ain't lost everything. I'm like not on rock bottom, but like obviously I'm living real basic at the time. I couldn't even go out with my friends in the summer, even though I was off. Like I was all the way in. So I knocked on doors every day because that's the most effective way to change a vote. I've done it for other people's campaigns and they actually won.
Right.
So I'm like, if I know this works, then I'm gonna do it. I promise you, every person that voted on me, they probably got a door knock. Promise you.
Right.
They got a door knock.
And to all those people that are watching, that are considering running for office, you're getting a blueprint right here.
I'm literally giving away
You're
free
giving
advice
them-
right
giving
now.
them free shit. Right. There you go.
Now pay me if I'm just playing. You want me to work for you? I'm just
Right.
playing.
Right.
Parkinson.
Consulting. Right.
I give it to you for real.
Right.
But no, seriously, I'm just joking. But no, we canvassed, we worked hard, we was out there in that sun, and we won. And I walked into the legislature, and
Hold
the
that.
day
Hold that. No.
I'ma stop.
We hold that because when we come back, we are going to talk about her entrance to the legislature, her words before she walked in, and the response from the Republicans in the Tennessee legislature. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. We'll be right back. Shout out to LeContier. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson
Back.
Project.
I'm a cute
LeContier,
girl.
hey, Kojak.
Yeah.
LeContier actually getting a countdown right today.
Y'all got her.
that?
Y'all
Did
got
you
her
see that?
birthday.
She
Y'all not gonna come
ain't
for her.
had enough Mountain Dew. That's what it was.
Not in Women's History Month. Y'all gonna let it go. I got
Hello.
you. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah, LeContier. Shout out to LeContier. Lime green fingernails in the building. Y'all give it up for her.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something, London Lamar, before you go into. Do I have to say your whole name?
No.
Okay, 'cause
That's
I feel
the
like
brand, though.
I feel like I'm just like
And it
Come
flows
on.
though. That's
I
like
know, it's like
like a superstar name.
It's like
London
natural.
Lamar.
That's what I said.
It flows. It rolls
Okay,
off the tongue.
y'all.
Right?
Y'all talking about politics, so I'm all. It's your story is deeper than politics. First of all, when you was telling your story and you were just talking about what you saw, that's really big into success and how what shapes a child. That's big onto what you saw, and then even if it's Senate level or legislative, I don't know anything about politics, but your destiny is some other person's destiny is tied to your obedience.
Mm.
So
Ooh.
yes, I
Coach
said it
Ed.
again.
She giving that PK giving that word, ain't
It
she?
is. So yeah, I'll look at it that
part
way.
again.
I
What
don't
now?
know.
What now? What?
Somebody else's
Yes.
destiny is tied to your obedience.
Wow.
So by you not being obedient, it could be holding up somebody else.
Ooh.
That's but y'all looking at it like
deep.
I don't look. I
Jack.
don't, but
That's
that's
deep.
so.
That is.
Keep going deep
Thankful
today.
obedience. And another thing about you too, you have a good perspective because a lot of things that you said as far as sitting at the desk or things you had to do, a lot of people are entitled and they don't want to work for nothing. Or it's one thing, they lose their job, they just want to give up. Oh, it's not meant to be.
And it's everybody
You
else's
don't
fault.
you don't did one thing. It's okay. It's about perspective. Like
Yeah.
so you understand that you have to serve. People, you have to serve in order to lead. And everybody don't want to serve first. So that's important. That's what I want to say before y'all dive into.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's important to learn how to
Yeah.
follow before you can lead.
Yes,
Because
yeah.
if you follow someone, I think your perspective as a leader, like you care more about how you make people feel as
Yeah.
they follow you and how they respect you in that process. Because if you're leading people and they don't respect you, then you can't lead them to greatness. And so I think also leaders got to continue to remain humble. And continue to remember that people are watching you. Have to be held to a higher standard, and you can't do those things if you've never been in a position to look up to somebody. And of course, you don't know everything. I don't care how much leadership potential you have, you still got to learn and grow and watch somebody else in order to get there. And so
Remain teachable.
my mom taught me that for sure, and she's really the person that always keeps me humble, makes me think about a little guy, always asks, how is your decision going to impact others? And I really appreciate her for always keeping me in check as I continue to, get more responsibilities as a leader.
Like old people say, make sure you don't smell yourself.
Hello.
Man.
Yeah.
You know
Let me
to
tell
smell
you
yourself
Hello.
now.
Let me tell you something. London Lamar got so many guardians around her. Seriously, real talk. We done been out of town together, in different places. There's been times where I had look, right. There's been time and times where she's vented and this, that, and other, but she has so many guardians around her. I can name them, myself, Jesse Chisholm, all the
boys.
other, Dixie, Vincent Dixie, and others, man. We
I know, like, if somebody really try to come for me, like, I got some men that's go, like,
Man,
they
we
go
gonna
get
ride.
on you.
We're gonna ride.
And I'm so thankful for that. Like, I just, I know that, and I'm gonna take a moment to address this. I know that right now, I've been using my platform to really kind of talk about this, but I feel like black men and women are in a renaissance period with each other. And we're at a crossroads of we go continue to fight or we go all in and love on each other. And my brothers always remind me of how much black men love black women.
Come on.
And the reason
That's important. That's important.
and
Yes,
I
yes.
want to make sure I do my part to show my same level of loyalty and love and appreciation to black men, especially now having a black son. Like I just definitely want him to grow, like us to grow, to know that we got to come back together as black people and black family, love one another. We got to get the black family back together. Men, marry your girls, love on them. Like, let's create more families, more babies, like
What?
all of
Raise
that.
the village. The
What?
Right,
village,
like the village got to come back
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And social media has gotten us
It's
thinking
okay.
this IND. I'm sick of being independent.
Right.
Oh, look.
Like, come on, I want to be a happy boy.
Probably
Kojak.
codependent sometimes.
Yeah, it's okay.
They having a moment right here, right now.
I mean,
Right.
sis.
There's
But I mean, I'm not to
we
get on
are
a
Women's
tangent.
History Month, right?
Yeah, you're gonna let us be great.
Right, I'm gonna let y'all be
Let
great,
us
man.
be
Y'all
great.
moment across the
Yeah,
table, right?
that's important.
But so London, I know you know her, right? And I'm still in awe when I listen to you, right? And real talk, and I would tell her that she hadn't even reached her peak yet. Yeah, and so I want y'all to think about this, right? You're watching this young lady on the Antonio Parkinson Project right now, and she hadn't even reached her peak, right? This is still in the baby stages of her story. Yeah, and I need people to grasp that, to understand that, right? Because this is a woman who, if she stays on her trajectory, will be in one of the highest positions that a woman has ever achieved. Real talk. Yeah. Seriously. And I've always told her that. Right? And sometimes I have to talk off the ledge, right? Because she be ready to smack the shit out of a motherfucker, right? Right.
That's all the side of London, like, and I'm still working on myself.
It's okay.
Right.
I got a temper.
You're self-aware.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to be self-aware. And if you're self-aware, people can't hold that against you. You ain't gonna tell me nothing that I ain't willing to tell on myself. So you take that weapon for them. So that's important.
Absolutely. I'm working on my temper. But speaking of temper, let me get back to the story. So when I first got elected, that was in 2018. I think Trump just got it. Was that? No. It was the governor's race. Right after Trump.
Bill
Lee.
Yeah.
And during that midterm season, there was a lot going on where the Republican Party was really doubling down on racist rhetoric, to drive the vote at that time. And that's where you start seeing it really start to increase in a major way. And of course, Tennessee voted down white men, voted Republican. Like, it is what it is. One day I was in
talk about the period we're in. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you got some, we're going into the George Floyd stuff, going into all of this turmoil that's happening in the country. So I just want to set it up for you. Go ahead.
Oh no, I appreciate you. Right. Yeah. So the day after the general, I'm officially state representative, just got elected. I'm looking at CNN Tennessee exit poll data on a computer, and I decided to make a Facebook Live addressing how Republicans are racist because they voted Republican based on all the rhetoric that was being said, and it was very racially charged. So my whole thing is much of the marketing around it was based on racially charged rhetoric. So of course you would think that, people who believe in that and vote for that tend to have those beliefs. Now I probably could have said it nicer, but 2 days later,
well, you got to say what you said.
I called Tennessee racist.
Right.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, that's why I said Tennessee is racist.
Right. Well, but there's more to the story, right?
So no big deal. Like everybody called Tennessee racist at the time. So I was like, in our community, so I literally thought nothing of it. And I got up 2 days later. And next thing I know, somebody sent me a link. The Shelby County Republican Party shared my video talking about how dare she say this or something to that nature. Next thing you know, all of these national media outlets start picking up my video. Young.
Okay, come on, press.
So no, for real, but in the scariest way.
But no such thing as bad press.
Exactly.
Right, but I've never been in the national media, thrust into the media like that. So what comes with the story like that is this nigger, I'ma lynch you, all of these type of go back to Africa, all these other things. So I am not only shocked, but now I'm terrified because I'm getting these death threats from racists.
And how old are you at the time?
I'm at 28 years old. Oh, wow. So I'm young, I'm single, me and my boyfriend just broke up. So I live by myself. So I'm I don't own no gun. I'm I don't know if it's real or fake because I've never been attacked like that before. So I'm okay, I'm dealing with that. Next thing I know, I get a call from one of my one of the Democrat legislators saying, the Republicans are so upset at you. They are, some want to call for your resignation. They want you to resign, all of this other stuff. So they was just send out an apology and hopefully it just die down. So I'm like nervous. I'm like, I just got elected. And then I'm also frustrated.
Haven't even been sworn in yet.
Haven't even been sworn in yet.
Right.
And then I ain't gonna front you. I'm also frustrated because it's radio silence from people in Memphis. Like people in the activist community
Right.
who's supposed to be
Yeah.
out here pushing it. They ain't nobody, none of them coming to my aid.
Right.
Or they ain't saying nothing. I'm just out here by myself taking all of this heat. So I'm just like, okay, well, I just send them an apology. Like, you know, I don't mean that you racist. I want to talk about you specifically. But okay.
Chill out. Chill
Like,
out.
chill out. I apologize. Big deal. Like, because I didn't understand. Like, what was you so mad about as if, like, racism doesn't exist? Like, that's to me, I still
Like,
don't.
are you racist? Dang.
Right.
Like,
Lord.
you know, I still don't understand. But whatever. You know, I come into the legislature. I apologize. And, you know, I'm bubbly. So I come in and I'm like, hey, everybody. Because a third of the House at the time is new. So it's like
Right.
30 freshmen coming in with me. So I'm going to them like, hey, how you doing? I'm all excited or whatever. And they just like, just giving me the
That's
driest.
that girl. That's her.
That's her. That's her
That's
girl.
the one they was talking about.
Right.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I move on to my, you know, into my role. I had my little welcoming party. I'm excited. I'm here. I'm drafting my first legislation. So when I got elected, the Centoya Brown story was hot in the media.
Just break that down a little bit for the folks.
So the Centoya story was this young girl who was serving time in prison for murder for pretty much killing the guy that's raping her. She was sold to. She was being controlled by a pimp.
Right.
And so at that time, I was really impacted by her story because as a young woman who is being sold, I felt like this is an injustice in the system. This must be fixed. So of course I'm like, I'm in the legislature now, so I'm gonna fix it. I got this. I got this. So my first bill, and I was just telling this story. I was teaching a training earlier, and I was just telling them this story how to craft the legislation where, if you're a victim of human trafficking, and you are being trafficked, you got the right to kill your perpetrator. So off top, it seemed like, duh, like you're getting raped by somebody who bought you. Like, don't you have a right to like kill them? Kinda, you know, like they're raping you.
Yeah.
But it was seriously flawed. So I presented my first bill in subcommittee at the House Judiciary, and it gets voted down. Y'all walk out the committee room crying.
Yeah.
My first bill. I'm like,
Usually they give you your first bill.
just give me your first
Right,
bill.
right.
And I'm like I've been in the media for like all of this work I'm trying to do around there. So like people watch it and it like gets voted down. And I like go outside and start crying. So I'm like, oh my gosh. But nevertheless, I don't give up. I decide to say, okay, I'm starting to watch how things are moving. So all of my bills are getting killed. All of them getting killed. But in the process, I'm noticing the cliques and the relationships and everything, the fractions.
Right.
But I'm realizing bills are being passed not on their content, but if they like you or not, and then a little bit of the content.
Okay, you all right?
You made me spit
all
my
right?
ice out because that's so. People don't realize it's like a high school
Popularity
in
contest.
the capital. The popularity contest. Who they like matters. Am I lying? But go ahead, London. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So I take it upon myself to try to build one-on-one relationships with my Republican colleagues in the House because I'm realizing they really think I think that they racist. So I start, go out to the receptions with them, talk to them, get to know them, sit down with them, like introduce myself to their wives, like get them to see that, okay, I may have said that, but I'm not a bad person. And a lot of them warm up to me. They start to like me. So one day I was pushing a bill. It was like so simple. It's like, how could you not vote for it? And one who I started to build a relationship pulled me to the side and said, I'm just gonna give you the truth. You being blacklisted. You're not passing a bill this semester because of your comments and people are still mad about it.
Oh, Lord.
I said, okay. And, I was like, okay. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. And I didn't make a big deal about it. I never, I didn't go to do no media thing about it, like big, whatever. So I said, you know what? That's cool. I'm gonna double down. I decided to double down on my efforts to get to know everybody, and work on it and just build the relationships. Because I'm seeing that it's starting to work. Like they're saying, like the fact that he decided to let me know what was up, let me know that
Yeah.
there were people there who are starting to warm up to me.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Because he didn't have to tell
He
you.
didn't have right. He didn't
Right,
have to
right.
tell. He didn't have to say. And then I had some coming to me saying, "You're building a lot of flies because you're working with honey instead of vinegar." So they say, the phrase, "You catch more flies with honey than vinegar." So I said, "Okay." I listened. I said, "I'll go and take their advice. I'll go ahead." Even though I feel like I was justified, I'll take my ego out of it. Now, that freshman year, while I'm going through all that, I end up getting pregnant my freshman year and in the legislature. So I'm like, I'm already getting dragged and having a hard time. Now I got this baby on the way. So now I'm worried about that. And at the time, the father was like doing me real dirty, like just real dirty. And so I got all of these stresses going on, and I finished my legislative career, not really passing a bill. So I'm just like going through it. So now my psyche is off because my view of the world and how things are supposed to operate are not aligning with my moral values.
Wait a minute. From what? From the relationship failing? From the pregnancy? What? From what?
So not being able to come in the legislature and get things done based on a comment that I felt like I had the right to say. Being the only one not really feeling like I just belong. Just like I don't belong. Ostracized. And then having taken upon myself to have to apologize. And I did it, but that don't mean it felt good in the process.
Right,
So I do want to acknowledge that even though I did it, sometimes doing the thing you must do don't always feel good.
Right.
And then having this situation on the outside of like also being ridiculed, that relationship has now become toxic, and the judgment I know I'm getting, like, believe it or not, people in Memphis are still very conservative. So I'm a young, unmarried woman walking around with an illegitimate baby. So I knew, I was like, now, like,
Who was that coming from though? Not names, but
just
women.
the
men,
women,
or
more so women than men. But the comments and the attitudes and the looks and what others had told others that come back and tell me what they said. So I was just recognized like it wasn't a good look.
Wait a minute. We're gonna pause right there. I gotta leave them on the cliffhanger.
No,
right?
I want to know the story. How you gonna
Because
stop? I want
we're
to know
gonna come
already.
when we come back. We're gonna talk about the mental health aspect of all of that weight on the shoulders of a 28-year-old at the time. So you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. We'll be right back. LeConte coming with the countdown. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. We're here with my lovely, lovely co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods on the Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at my eyes, y'all.
No, I'm tired, y'all.
Yeah.
Having a baby is a lot of work. I'm trying
Man.
to tell you. Thank you. They be talking about me all the time. This
We
a lot of work.
tired.
Thank you.
Hey, DJ Kodak, she is so quick-witted.
Yeah.
I can't catch her, man.
I stay on my feet.
Look, she on
I
the
stay on
Mountain
my
Dew, right?
feet.
She's having a baby. That's why my eyes look like this.
I'm
Right,
they say I'm
right.
black and knees. I got tight eyes anyway.
Right,
so.
Black and East and Iowan, Corn Huskers,
Yeah.
and all
All
kind
that.
of. Oh, that's Nebraska. I'm sorry, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Three black people lived in Iowa. Angelica and her twin were two.
Yep.
Right. London Lamar in the building. What's up, London Lamar? Yeah. London Lamar. London Lamar. So we left off. I wanted to come back and talk about so much weight on your shoulders at this age. You're probably 29 at this point, right? You make 29.
Is it this 2019? Yes, I'm 20. No, I'm 28, going on 29.
Going on 29. Under 30 now, you know, and so you're dealing with a bad relationship, pregnant, you know, first, you know, seconds in the Tennessee legislature. They're coming at you because you said some were racist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a lot of weight. You're in the public eye, national news. I remember these stories. It went national. I remember this.
I remember them too.
Right?
I do too.
And so you got a lot, and you feel like you're alone. Tell us about the mental health aspect of that.
It
carrying
was
all that weight.
awful because, like, a lot of my friends were still young, so I was talking to, so they didn't understand the capacity of my responsibility because they weren't in the public eye. They can just be like, "Oh, sis, I'm here for you if you need help, babysitter or whatever." Like,
No idea.
they meant it so much, and they were serious about it too.
But no idea.
But no idea. And I'm broke too. Like, I don't have a job. Like, I'm living off a basic salary too.
Right.
So I ain't
Yeah.
got no money either.
Right.
And I got a muff.
You can say it. You on Antonio Parkinson.
I
I got this bitch ass nigga and his mama over here.
Bring that beat back. Bring that beat back.
We need some gunshots.
Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
The shot's about to be fired.
Right,
Like,
right.
we at this part of the show. Shots fired. But no. At the time, you know, like, I got this nigga who just when I say mean to me, like, just mean, and their family just mean to me. And they were spreading rumors about me that were not true. And I was frustrated because I really didn't have no outlet to defend myself. I couldn't really do nothing about it. So I kind of felt helpless. And on the flip side, I'm trying to, like, prepare to be a mom. So, like, I'm stressed out as hell. I'm depressed. When I say depressed, I am depressed. Like, that summer, I was trying to keep up, go to all the young people conferences, but I kind of was like, felt like I was walking that thing with a scarlet A because I was a new legislator trying to be engaged, and I got this big old belly walking around, and I'm trying to own it and be proud of it, but deep down inside, I feel the shame and the stares and the looking at me. But I decided to keep it, so I was like, I'm gonna do this mama thing, so I'm trying to own it, but that don't mean it don't hurt. So I'm stressed out. And so one day, like, towards 32 weeks, my feet are starting to swell. I thought it was part of pregnancy. They just starting to get big and big and big and big. And I'm still traveling back and forth from Nashville. So I had a summer study around week 31.
Explain it so people know.
So a summer study is a hearing on legislation during the summer and the off season to go more in depth about what the things are and stuff like that. So when Republicans started to like me a little bit, they started, instead of killing my bills, they summer studied them, which means it's saying, I don't disagree with you, but I'm not voting for it.
Right.
So
that gives them cover.
That gives them cover, but it's also a sign that they don't necessarily all the way disagree with you. It's not as bad as a no. Okay. You just got to come do work in the summer, and I'm gonna always do the work to get my bills passed. But anyway, so I'm coming back to Memphis, and the next day, I woke up for my 32-week doctor's appointment, and I'm feeling sick, that morning. So I get up, I tell my mom, I'm like, I don't really feel so well or whatever. And the next thing you know, I had the most excruciating pain ever, like sharp pains. Like I'm like, oh shit, I'm going in labor. Like, and next thing you know, within 15 minutes, they are unbearable type pains. Where like feels like somebody stabbing me in the stomach with a knife. And so now my mom and my grandma is freaked out. So they put me in a car and they're rushing me to the hospital. And I'm like screaming because the pains are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And so now I'm scared because I'm thinking like I'm either in labor or something's happening to the baby. And so I get to the emergency room and I'm screaming like the loudest scream. And so they don't even check me and they immediately take me back. And I'm telling them like something's wrong with my stomach. So that she puts a thing on there. She's like, I don't get a heartbeat. I don't hear a heartbeat. And so they put me on a stretcher and they rushed me to the other side of Memphis, Germantown, to labor and delivery. And the saddest part about that rush was my grandmother, who's older, trying to keep up with that stretcher running through that hospital.
Oh my God.
So I get into the room, and now it's like 6 doctors and nurses all standing over me, like taking my clothes off, ripping. And he has his thing over me, like, I don't hear a heartbeat, one sticking their finger up. He's pulling his finger out, it's blood coming out, like. And my blood pressure is like 210 over 120 at this point. So I hear the lady go ahead and tell me the baby's gone and we got to put you out before you stroke out. And so I heard this Chinese doctor, he was like, you're going to have to push this baby out. And I grabbed his shirt. I said, are you fucking crazy? And literally just like that. And then the other doctor's like, no, we got to go into emergency surgery. So I had to sign a consent form. And once I got done signing a consent form, like they put the medicine in me, I was out. And I woke up and I was in the hospital room. My son was dead in the crib next to me.
Oh my God.
And the tears and the worry on my mama's face before I knocked out, and my grandmother's face is like witnessed them saying that if they don't put me out, I'm almost dying. And their grandbaby just died in my stomach was one of the most, still to this day, the most traumatic experience I've ever had in my life.
My goodness.
And so now I wake up and I'm realizing like I ain't lost my child. And I got these breathing machines on me, like I got all of this stuff, these things on my legs, like I'm hooked up. They got me in labor ICU type situation. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm coming to the reality of that my son is gone, and I'm like destroyed, because regardless of how stressful it is, I still wanted that child. I done had a baby shower, I done all of those things. It's a lot. And so I called my mama. I told my mama, I was like, go ahead and call the dude and tell him what happened. And I said, please tell him not to tell nobody what happened, because I need a moment to get myself together. And my family's there. We call my mom, my daddy, my sister. My sister's about to fly to Memphis. And then the father comes. Baby looks just like his bitch ass. Yes. But his ass told people. And the next thing I know, my phone is blowing up. Now I'm just like a few hours out of waking up. I'm still processing that I just lost my baby, and I had a near-death experience. And now everybody calling me and texting me and all of these things. And I'm just now got to call my friend. I'm like, girl, can you come up with a public statement about what just happened? So now I'm sitting in the bed, just lose my baby. Now I got to come up with a PR plan.
How were you mentally?
In that moment, I was in shock. Like I wasn't anything. I was sad and I was crying, but I was numb because I had all of these things. So now in that moment, I'm dealing with the loss. I'm coming up with a PR plan, and I got to plan the funeral. Damn. So, the Ford, shout out to Ed Ford's senior, very clear.
Shout out to Ford.
Senior. His wife. They called me. It's like, we got the body. We go come. Just let me know when you're ready to come get it. So I stayed there, let the baby stay in the room for me for 2 days. You came, Karen, and Jesse came up to the hospital to see me. Yep. And I appreciate that. When I say bedside to
bedside, baby.
Had like in that thing just sick. I get out the hospital 4 or 5 days later. I go home and recover for a week, and then I have to have a funeral. And I'm 28 years old, and I'm sitting here.
And just being elected.
Going through everything I want, and now I'm burying a baby. Right. In Memorial Park Cemetery. And I barely had the money. I had just enough to pay for that funeral. That's all I emptied out my whole account. Yeah. And thankfully, my Republican colleagues end up donating to me.
They did.
They did.
Yeah, I
They
remember
raised
that.
me some money, and so when I had to empty out my accounts, I was then able to have a little recovery, so I could take off for the next couple of weeks. So shout out to them who donated. I love you for that, regardless if you don't agree with the stuff I say all the time. But I ain't forgot that.
Right.
And now I'm just real fucked up. Like I'm just like, man, like I look up like 2019 was like that was the start of just really a real depressive time for me.
I remember.
And I will say I still don't think I've recovered all the way from that level of depression. But
I remember the
I pushed through,
talks, the
but it was
conversation.
the at home,
man.
like
Ooh.
that just wasn't a loss for me. That was a loss for my family, my mom and my grandma, who
Oh,
almost
man.
watched me
People don't
die.
Think about that.
And like
Yeah.
after that, my grandma got severely sick and went to the hospital. She was so hurt, it almost killed her. So she went into the hospital for a couple of weeks, and I was so angry at everybody who showed me shade or was mean to me during that time. When I say, like, even to this day, I confidently say I hate them.
Yeah.
I like hate you.
Yeah.
For anybody.
you was angry at the people that even loved you. Now you was just.
I was
angry.
I was
So
angry
look,
for a while.
We had to just take it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Cause I was mad at God. Like I was like, why you embarrass me like that? Cause I didn't only just take this loss, but I took the loss in front of everybody, the whole world. Everybody knew I was having a baby publicly.
Man,
And so I was just like really at rock bottom. Like I was just like going through it, and I didn't know like how to navigate. And so really the legislature was my only thing to look forward to. It was my only outlet. I was like, damn, I just lost my baby. I can't lose my position too. So I kind of came back in 2020 just ready to like give it all, because I'm like, I ain't got nothing else that I cared about. Because like you took the thing that I was supposed to be most excited about. And then it also, unfortunately, like it gave me a reset with a lot of my Republican colleagues, because I think a lot of them felt bad for how mean they were to me.
Yeah.
And then to turn around and see me have to go through that, and they know they was being judgmental and mean to me. They gave me like a fresh start when I came back. And I hate that it took a loss like that for them to see the humanity in me.
Yeah.
But whatever, I take it.
Yeah.
And I did, and I came back, and then like I was already an advocate for maternal health, but like it took my advocacy to a whole new level.
Hold up, partner. Cause look, we would be at my pool having these conversations, right? And in that time you gotta understand, y'all. I hope our listening audience and watching audience understands this, gets this. That mental health load that she just described, most people would not survive it.
Exactly.
Most people would have been institutionalized, put in straitjackets, seriously, because that was a heavy, heavy load. But
And I feel sorry for the people who had to watch me go through that, like you and my colleagues, because they love me enough. They took the anger.
we got bit. You don't understand.
But that's
We would
important.
get bit by London, right? And we'd be like,
And they knew I was going through
Right,
it.
right,
They
right,
knew
right.
it, and they didn't take it personal. And I thank them
not at
so
all.
much.
Not at all.
Because I was hurting, and I didn't like. I didn't even have no outlet, and I even tried therapy, and I didn't like it. I don't think it worked for me. To be honest, at that time, therapy made me more sad. And I ain't saying therapy don't work. I do not endorse therapy. Works for everybody. At that time, for me, I wasn't ready to receive it because I was still
I wanted to
like,
be mad.
I was still
I wanted to be
bleeding.
mad.
Right.
So we ain't stopped the
wound was
bleeding
still-
yet to see what type of wound we had.
Right.
And so that's why I was at a really tough crossroads. And but like I didn't shy away from my story. I was like, y'all already know shit. Let me go ahead and like. So I really started going in on women's health policy. Like I was like, you saw me almost die. How you gonna deny me the right to push policy that's gonna help women live? Like you all saw it in front of your eyes. This is real for everybody in the legislature and for me too. And I think my loss, what it did, it actually gave me purpose in my role. Like I had a degree in political science. I knew I had these skills. I was a great leader professional. But what really connected me to the work in a real way?
Hold that thought. We're going to come right back, and we're going to talk about, remember, we always said there's purpose in everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to understand why she went through what she went through and what fruit it is yielding at this point. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. We'll be right back with London Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, if y'all could only hear the conversations in between, in the break, man. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, here with my wonderful co-host Angelica Jelly Woods, who's in the building.
I am here.
Angelica, what about this though?
Crying and everything. I just feel, I
Man.
just feel, tugged at the heart. I was telling London Lamar, because you got to say the whole name. I've miscarried, lost the tube, lost several times. So he doesn't understand. It's okay. I respect when you can tell, you say you was mad with God, because God knows anyways. And when you were speaking, he said it had to happen. It just, when we accept it has to happen, it has nothing to do with us. It's for other people. And you don't even know, I'm going to tell you this. I follow you on social media on my business page. And I remember you being pregnant, and then, you weren't pregnant no more. I mean, okay. And then, and I just watched how you came back and progressed. So you're thinking of the struggle, but it doesn't. For me not to know you, it don't even look like that. So by you being vulnerable, it's good for you to say that because some people just think people bounce back and they don't go through nothing, but you're going through life and it's okay. So yeah, it's a lot. And you talking about the pain.
Yeah. Oh,
I
pain,
still feel that pain
Yeah,
even to
it's
this
never gonna
day.
go
It's
away.
never gonna go away.
I'm tatted because I feel like I just got to carry the pain. And people like, why are you tatted?
Yeah, I don't have one, but I
Because
want
I
to
feel like it
get.
helps.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to get my baby's names on my C-section scar.
Dallas.
Tatted.
Dallas and my Nyland now. Shout out to the new
Yes.
baby.
Right,
but we
right.
gonna get there.
Right,
God
right,
gives you
right,
second
right.
chances
Yeah.
I got my
always.
baby, and I got my baby.
He
married.
gonna give,
Amen.
and you know what? I will say now I'm in a very much more better situation with the active father who's there.
Man, we're gonna talk
And
about
God
God didn't want me to have that situation
He
with
didn't
them.
allow that.
He didn't. He
Yeah.
said that was not gonna work
Yep.
out for you, and
He
I
wanted more.
had to take him away to save you long term.
Yep,
He said
yep.
you didn't deserve that.
But you
So,
know, what too, and DJ Kojak, I gotta acknowledge my co-host DJ Kojak in the building. Shout out
He was
DJ
crying,
Kojak.
too.
Scratch it up 4 times,
He
DJ
said he was
Kojak.
crying, too.
Right, look, DJ Kojak said he had allergies. He was not
Right,
crying.
right.
His allergies were kicking in. Right. Look, I had to go get me some tissue, man, because
The
I'm
movie.
like, man, look.
No, she said something profound.
She- oh,
She
my
said
God.
owning it doesn't mean it didn't hurt.
Oh, that's powerful.
Profound.
That's
I don't
powerful.
think even owning it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Like
Yeah. Imagine, but imagine just how many women this show is going to help that have gone through the same
hope so.
thing. Remember, we talked about that,
I
right?
hope so,
We
and
talked
that's why I'm
about
being
it.
open with my
Yeah.
stories
Maybe
because.
I'll tell you behind the scenes.
Right.
And I wanted to be open just because, like, I mean, people already know. So, like I said, you might as well own it. But I'm like, I got so many messages when I made my public statement and everything. I got so many DMs saying, "Me too. It happened to me too.
Yeah.
Thank you for your courage of standing out there. I feel your pain." I was like, wow, we really got these many women suffering in silence.
Yeah.
Man.
That just came like, girl, I feel your pain. And they was crying with me. And some cried publicly with me and some cried privately. But I internalized their tears too, because, you know, the reality of the situation, I know I'm an elected official and I know a public figure, you have to like, not, you owning it means you also speak for the masses.
And
And
that's a heavy lift.
it's a heavy burden that we take on when we decide to do this
And
role.
especially when you factor in what is happening at the Tennessee legislature when they tell, you know, rape victims they have to carry a baby, or when they tell women what they can do with their
Yes.
bodies and what they cannot do with their bodies.
Absolutely. And so now it's personal because I'm like, you know, they now steady bringing bills to like outlaw abortion. Roe v. Wade ain't, excuse me, not Roe v. Wade. Dobbs hasn't came yet.
You gotta
And
explain it because there's laymen watching. You know?
I'm sorry. So the decision to ban abortion federally on a national level hasn't came yet. But the Tennessee legislature were passing bills to restrict. They passed a bill that if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, abortion immediately becomes illegal in Tennessee. So, you know, I will have to stand up and advocate for these issues because I believe in women's rights to choose, because now I know what it's like. And let me tell you why I'm a true women's advocate before that happened to me. My cousin died in 2015 from pregnancy at the same age at 28 years old. She dropped dead outside of work at 8 months pregnant like I was.
And black women drop dead
And-
Yes,
more
than
than
anybody. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
And she died at St. Francis Hospital. And at that time, I had to go to the hospital and claim that, help my grandma claim that body. So I saw her dead body in that room, her and that baby. And I had to witness that. And so it was already real for me. But for it to happen to her at 28 and then to happen to me, I'm like, no, black women dying, you know,
Right,
black
yeah.
women like, and
Yeah.
they hear these talking points and they hear, because now maternal health is now coming to the forefront. Shout out to Kamala Harris. That's why I actually support her so much,
Right.
because she was one of the few black national elected officials owning maternal health. She
Yeah.
was a U.S. senator at the time.
But our numbers are different.
Our
though.
numbers are
I mean,
different.
and that's important to know.
Significantly.
Yeah.
You know, black women die
Die.
way more than white women.
They do.
when they're pregnant. You know, and
Because we got high
can't
blood
walk
pressure,
past
we
it.
got diabetes, we
Yeah.
got all. See,
Yeah.
and I was working with my black doulas and birth workers. Is we already starting off wrong from young girls. We're not eating correctly. We're not eating our vegetables. We're not teaching good sexual health, because we can't talk about sex in the household. It's too taboo. We're not building healthy women ready to handle childbirth. So when it's time for us to have babies, we already unhealthy. We already pre-diabetic. And I had preeclampsia. I had gestational diabetes. I wasn't eating healthy. I own that, you know, and I didn't do right. I was uneducated.
I was going to say, but a lot of it comes from the lack of education.
That is why I like doulas.
Right.
I didn't know. Doulas are now good at educating women on how to have healthy and viable pregnancies, helping you come up with a meal plan, educating you on the even the process of pregnancy, what goes into it, how your body changes. I didn't know none of that. And I was an elected official in a privileged place.
Right.
So imagine women who are less privileged, who don't know and don't have access and can't afford a doula.
Yeah. Shout out to our very own Michelle, who is a doula.
I said she look. She told her she's a beast, but I was telling Parkinson on another show. I was the opposite. Thank God. People, I got body shamed. Remember I talked about that.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
Being healthy. No, for being they tried to see. Thought I was crazy. I didn't. I ran just like you. Right. No, I didn't have preeclampsia. I didn't have any of those things. I already knew. I kind of in my mind knew I didn't want to gain certain kind of way. I didn't want to be healthy. But people body shame me and ask me like, was something wrong with my baby because I was so small? Which like has well, of course my history now, you know, it put thoughts in my mind. That's like, crazy. Dang, am I not eating enough? The doctor's like, you're eating perfectly enough. You don't have to eat 3 meals. Sit down, like that's normal. Right. You don't have to eat a whole pizza. Your baby's getting like a quarter of what you eat essentially. But it was opposite. People put fear to me for being healthy. Yeah. It was really weird that they did. And I gained like 7 pounds.
And that goes to show you too, you know, and I was saying this to the men that are watching the show. Man, look, be kind to these women that are carrying your baby because that energy is absorbed. Yes. Right? Yes. And I pause right there.
My husband wasn't like that though. He was awesome. Right. It was other people.
Right. Look. Go ahead, London.
So that was a word, but I doubled down on my advocacy around maternal health and really started to craft a legislative agenda that focusing on that in a real way and owning that. It also made me a little bit more unapologetically about my attitude and just the things I wanted to advance, because like I realized life could be taken from you in an instant. And I wanted to make my time here meaningful while I was in the legislature. So now, because of my courage, women are now like listening to me and supporting me. And I decided to be even smarter about my advocacy. So this is how I decided to get things passed. Tennessee is a pro-life state, right?
Come on now.
And I care about motherhood. So I'm going to run a real pro-life agenda, and I dare you to vote against mothers and babies.
Come on, girl, you better preach. It's called The Art of War.
The Art of War.
The Art of War.
I found comment. I knew I'm not going to win the fight against abortion, right? That's a losing battle. I'm going to advocate for it, but it's a losing battle. But so let me advocate for women being able to have the ability to have their babies, especially sisters. Happy, healthy babies, where we both living and our babies are living too.
Let's give a round of applause for that, because that's important. Yeah.
Like,
find your space, baby.
You got to find your space. Let me tell you, you got to find your space. And I found my space. And that's why I was going back. For the first time, I felt connected to the work in a meaningful way. Now I got something that like connects me with the legislation that gives me purpose in every day that I wake up to go to that building and be able to push through the Republican control, them not liking what you say, them keep voting you down. Like, you gotta, as a black person in the legislature, you gotta have something that because it's hard.
You gotta have a passion.
You gotta have a passion to be in that building. Now, because like I was saying a day ago, and they probably mad at me for saying this, we'll address that later. Like, we already a minority in life, in society, and we feel the inequities in a real way. And then I got to walk into the legislature and be in a minority position again. So
double minority.
Double. And I got 4 strikes. I was young, I was black, I was a woman, and I was a Democrat. So I'm on a minority of every single major demographic there is, except religion, in the legislature.
Right.
So I carry those inequities on my shoulder and how I have to strategize my capacity to get things done. And so I have to advocate for things I can connect with them on. And that's that one thing, the ability to have babies. Now, do I think that they misuse the idea of pro-life? Sure, because pro-life for me is from the womb to the tomb, not just the idea of giving birth. And so I'm also challenging them that if we're going to be pro-life in this state, that's fine, but let's be pro-life in all intersections of policy. That means pro-life, the ability for kids to have food. That means the ability to have affordable housing. That's the ability to have access to health care. That's the ability to have a fully funded education system. If we want our babies to grow up and be able to contribute to Tennessee's economy in a real way and don't be on welfare that you keep taking away from my
That's
folks.
the slip right there, baby. That's going viral, baby. It's going viral.
Like, I'm being for real.
In truth, though.
In truth.
Yeah, and all of because you can't
Right.
say you pro-life and want these women to have these babies, not have abortions, and then say you ain't gonna give them damn SNAP benefits,
Right.
you know, and not be able to feed the babies,
Right.
or be able to help nurture and educate the babies, right? And so you gotta we want to have a conversation in truth. And I get it. That's I applaud. Give a round of applause.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that being, that courage, and it wasn't easy. Like the tears I have cried, and it's still crying.
Right.
It turned me into this superstar.
You're already a superstar, though.
I mean that like,
Yeah.
but like now women want me to come speak about this stuff. Now I'm getting invited to national conferences and stuff to tell my story and inspire other women and connect with them in a real way. And I never for once thought that I would be here doing those things and this would be my story that helps me connect with women. And while it's a tragic story, I feel so much gratitude in life when I'm able to connect with other women who are able to share with me in my experience and know that I can like help them. Like even in this moment, just sharing these tears with you all in this room, again, reaffirms my commitment to keep doing the work that I'm doing for Black women, for our babies, because at the end of the day, we are the start of life. We create society, and it is important that there is dignity, love, respect, and resources and support, because we carry life, and that is so important. Society don't run if women can't have healthy babies.
Right. Oh man, give it up for
pain
that.
was not in vain.
It's not in vain.
Vain.
And so we here, and I build good relationships with Republicans. And a lot of them become my friends, and cause I appreciate them having like messing with me you didn't step on me on my lowest.
Yeah.
And, they ain't necessarily all that I wanted them to be, but for those who like fuck with me, thank you. And I hope some of them watching and hear this that I don't not appreciate, even when I get on you, the support you've shown me in a lot of my hardest times. They don't go unnoticed. Me and Parkinson, one of the few people who, if it's that will cross the aisle, because if good policy is good policy.
Say that shit again.
Good policy is good policy. I'm if it's Democrat, Republican, and that's my olive branch to you, and that's my olive branch to you.
Right.
Don't spit on me.
Don't
Don't
the
spit on
thing
me.
is, and the killer part is this: we get crucified sometimes from our own people who don't understand the politics of politics. Right? We're in a super majority. We cannot pass a bill without Republican support. Right? And so it's so interesting you say this, because just the other day I made a post. I said, I choose to operate in gratitude and peace versus being adversarial, because my people's benefit is more important to me than being an advocate. Well, y'all better catch
Absolutely,
that. Y'all better
absolutely,
catch that.
absolutely.
And so what that means to me is, if my strategy is to operate, and this is the Art of War. Y'all get the book, Sun Tzu, The Art of War, right? If this is the strategy, because I'm up against a much larger army than I have, and I choose to advocate to work in peace and gratitude in order to bring improved quality of life home to my people, because I'm passing legislation, that's my strategy.
Right.
Doesn't mean I agree with everything that's going on the other side.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I've lost the fight in me. I'm only going to fight the battles that are worthy of fighting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Scratch. Give me 4 times for that,
Woo.
Kojak.
Little air
Right.
scratch.
right. Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
And so I was, because of that, you know, I felt more comfortable saying, okay, because you are connecting with me on this policy, if you have something that's a good policy, I can see beyond political partisanship and vote for it. And I've done that several times, and one of the few members of my caucus, along with Parkinson, who have the courage enough to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm here, and I've done all these good things. We're making it through session these next 2 years. We make it through George Floyd. We're going through COVID. I mean, let me just pause on COVID though.
Come on.
Because COVID happened right after I lost the baby. And I had to sit in the house by myself for months.
Man.
I'm not even gonna go into how
No, please do.
You know,
because it's gonna help somebody.
because I had to sit alone and really start processing that loss.
Damn.
And like that shit hurt. And I would cry, I couldn't sleep, I'd be pissed off. But on the flip side, I was appreciative because I was able to go through the motions, and I didn't have to do that in front of everybody. Like I still have moments where I pop off. Like I still think what happened to me changed my psyche a little bit. Where I don't have
Absolutely.
sometimes like I'm like, it's like I can be a ticking time bomb.
And
like
you
I
don't
can
have to
only take so
justify that,
much.
though. Think about it. You went through something
I stopped
traumatic.
trying to justify
You went through
it.
something traumatic.
Right.
Yes.
And so I'm like a
Incredibly
ticking time bomb. I'll take a lot until it gets to one more tick, and then it's everybody in trouble.
Hey, look, hey, y'all, we took the brunt of that.
Everybody
took the
Everybody in
brunt of
trouble.
that.
Everybody.
Y'all had no idea. Me and Jesse and Vincent, we be like, God, man, God, Lord,
Yeah.
Lord. But you know what though? But we
It
love
is,
you.
and
We love you,
and
though.
I love y'all. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
I'm telling y'all have no idea.
don't let nobody run up on us as a female. I'm jumping in. They can't do it, so they got to see me.
Right.
But
we
anyway,
understood you though.
I
We
know.
understood you, though.
I know
Real
y'all
talk,
did.
seriously. We did, and you need those kind of people around when you're going through those traumas.
Right.
You know that can chest up,
don't take it
take
personal.
your fire, because we know why. It's the why.
Yeah.
We know why you're lashing out, and you're gonna lash out at whoever, especially the folks that are closest to you.
right, right,
right?
absolutely.
Personal.
So we make it through these next 2 years. Get in the state house. I built such good relationships. My first top 2 requests were to get on finance and criminal justice, and the speaker granted me that. Shout out to Cameron Sexton. Appreciate you for that.
Yeah. We're trying to get Cam on the show tonight. Come through, pull up, Cam.
Is he in Memphis?
He's in Memphis. Yeah.
Tell him we need to talk.
Hey,
So if
you
he
tell
here,
him. Still looking at
Cam, call me.
Right.
But so I'm there, and I'm thankful for the Republicans who are just working with me, and then my Democratic colleagues who always got my back. Like I'm just in a state of gratitude while also still grieving and coming back into life. And so now we're coming up on 2021, 2022 redistricting has happened. So I'm gonna make this a long story short, but basically it's time to redraw the lines. And I'm in Senate House District 91 at the time, and the backstory to that, and I'm just gonna keep it real. The Republicans drew a map that kept my district safe. It was one of my Democratic colleagues who's in seniority status that went back to them and said, no, this the map we want. And he drew my district into the other young reps district and pitted me against Representative Tory Harris because we were youngest ones, instead of pitting him against someone who don't want to stay there now, who's leaving, exiting, where you could have had 2 young members in the House. This is happening at the time that Senator Robinson at the time is going through all of her situation. And so it is kind of coming to fruition that they are going to expel her.
Hold that thought. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. We're going to be right back and finish this story. We'll be right back. Hold up. Oh,
It was you.
shout out to LeContier with her damn.
No, that's from that sky, whatever you
Look,
want.
I'm telling you, welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, and we're here with my lovely co-host Angelica Jelly Woods in the building. Y'all give it up for her.
Yeah. You know, it's like we've been here 2 hours. It's amazing.
Man, DJ Kojak in the building. DJ
Man,
Kojak.
we here.
DJ Kojak, hit the horns for us. DJ Kojak. Hey, don't worry about it if you don't see his hands connect. It don't matter. It don't matter. London Lamar in the building.
Yes, the one and only.
Man, hang on in front. London Lamar, you're a baddie, baby.
Thank you.
Look,
Man,
I'm trying.
Ass. Look, I tell London, come on now.
Oh,
London be
Lord.
killing them. London be murking them. London, look, what do you do? Look, what happens in your DM? Tell us the truth.
That was just supposed to start with.
Can I say, I mean, you know, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I get a couple of, I get DMs from men. Sometimes, like, it's all cool, but I ain't ashamed to fall in the dude's DMs either. Like, like, well, you know, I'm in a relationship right now. My child's father. But before I decided to like chill out, you know, I would be the girl that I would go talk. I wouldn't be afraid to like, I guess hit on a guy. That's the incorrect term. But if I felt like a man was good looking, and like sometimes he don't see you, like he just make yourself be seen.
Man,
compliment.
Look, that's the
Oh, you
California
don't give a
attitude.
compliment?
You know, I grew up in California. You know, women in California would pull up on the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
Well, closed mouth don't get fed.
Man, can't get chose with your mouth closed.
Lord, we're gonna clip
my
that.
mentor is in the
We're gonna
park.
clip that. We're gonna
My
clip
mentor
that.
is in the park.
I'm tired of
That's what
these
they told me.
mentors. I'm tired of
Can't
these
get
We
chose
mean
with
that
your
in the
mouth closed.
nicest way, but you know, ladies, if a man look good, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Y'all see stories all the time when girls shoot their shot and they end up finding their husbands, and that doesn't
I ain't
mean.
gonna tell you my story. Then.
Come on, tell the
Tell
story.
us your story.
Stories be the best. Come on.
What happened?
Angelica, go.
I already told y'all this story. My husband was not my type. I like dark skin. I told you this story.
Come on, tell it again.
He said, tell us him, but he's more light. Don't let him. He probably mad. I'm not light skinned because he don't like me saying that. But
Right.
I was just bored.
He ain't El DeBarge light skin.
No, he's not. Ew,
Right,
no.
right, but
Not
go
that
ahead,
ill, Lord. Let me
Right,
like
right,
that godly. But I was bored, and we were in my
I was
office.
bored.
I was.
Kojak, hold
Doing
on,
that because
Kojak.
women do that. Like you just want to light your phone up.
She
You
just
want to
said
do
he was
something.
nice.
You just want to
Right.
do something extra. I was bored. But then you know how you know somebody. I was talking to him in my office. I was like,
They work together, London.
you could like, yeah, we did work.
They
You
work
like,
together.
You know,
Uh-oh.
you know how like you like, oh, he can get it. You know, after that, just because everybody wanted him for some reason. I tried to hook him with
I
everybody.
mean, dude, nice looking dude.
Yeah, but it wasn't my type.
Shout out to Mitch.
That's how it always happens, though.
Yeah, it was God. It was God.
Dude,
He on my phone talking hell
nice
no
looking
right
dude.
now. Everybody liked him. You know, he was a Q and all this other stuff. I'm
Right.
like, who, Mitch?
Look,
Okay.
got the guns and shit.
Yeah, I'm like, who? I tried to know everybody, but one day he was in my office talking to him. I was like, you know, one day, I said, I'm gonna give you some. He was like, I said, now when I give you some, don't try to come looking at me. Look at you to hear this story happen.
It's a remix.
Hey,
You
Michelle,
ain't true.
I'm glued to this story, right?
I said, now when I do give you some, don't come looking for me because I just wanted to do it because I was bored. Like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it because I feel like
This
he
is at
liked
the
me.
time when she
Now
had
he changed her world.
She had 3 dudes
Yeah, he knew.
that she was dating.
Yeah, he knew about my boyfriend. He always gave
She
me
was,
good
in
advice.
her thought period.
Yeah, he gave.
All of us have them.
I was a good,
Right.
good advice.
That's why I
and
ended
all
up
that.
pregnant the first time.
Right.
But I told him that, and the rest was history. You know, he did. And
Man, he put it down. Nah,
I
don't
said-
look
I said
crazy.
when I-
Look,
I
hey,
said when
Kojak,
I did.
Thank you. Thank you, LeContier, for catching that look.
I said,
Look.
y'all missed the story was
He
about
locked it
me.
in, Kojak.
The
I
story was
love
about
it.
me. He after that, because he was like, nah, because he said he would never get married. He was like, I'm never getting married. He
Well,
wanted
you
to
put
be.
it down then.
Hello, that's what I said.
That's all. Sis, we gotta talk offline. What you do?
I'm gonna
Right.
What's going
I'll
on?
let you
Yeah.
know. We ain't gonna get more.
Throw some more.
They gotta be some sponsors. To
I
know the
love
secret.
Oh, Lord, Kojak, you hear that?
You know, I'm glad she said it because we gotta start talking about sex more. It's so like over this whole
See, how
taboo
you know it
thing.
was sex?
Come on,
How you
man,
know it was
right.
sex? See?
Oh, you're right.
Well, scratch it up 4 times. Kojak.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't need to scratch
His
it.
mouth
That
doing
kind
this
of
hand.
scratch. Look, you gotta have
Mouth doing this hand.
So sad.
what was
love it.
then?
Really?
Yeah, tell the women so the women can know. You educating women.
I said not for sponsor. I said they all cannot know. That's exactly what I said. Look,
Hey, the game is to be
Parkinson is
told,
one,
not told.
Y'all ask, tell my husband. put
Sis,
in the
I'm
comments.
listening. Okay. How do I lock him down? Get this
Yeah,
ring. What I need to do to get this
mentorship.
ring?
It's not.
Look,
It's not
hey,
about
London,
sex.
It's about
sex,
mentorship, right?
Sex ain't important. Sex ain't gonna keep no man.
It's show like it's
What-
not.
That's
It's not.
another.
What got you? What got you flued out and married?
Flew out and married. I don't know.
Look at that look, man.
Flew down and married.
Flued out and married. She got flued out and married.
That's
Look,
all I gotta
look.
say.
Shout out to Mitch. Mitch, we see you, homie.
Yes.
Mitch Woods in the building.
I'm locked it in. I'm gonna lock it in.
Right,
He
right.
locked it in.
And he locked a good one in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, this is Polly Pureheart. You know, she's a PK.
You said
You
Polly.
know,
Yeah.
preacher's kid, you know.
A wonderful personality,
Thank
you,
beautiful.
Thank you.
she
beautiful.
Thank you.
got a
Thank you.
twin that looked just like her.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Identical.
Yeah.
But look, but she did fight her boyfriend in the snow over a snow.
I sure did.
Girl, we all been there. I
I
got
done been
stories.
crazy
I
to-
will not stay on air.
I told you we gonna have sidebars.
We gonna have a side,
I'm
baby.
worse than you. I
Look at
bet
this.
you. I
Hey,
don't.
look,
been on
hey.
It's
top
okay.
cars and high speed chasing.
They can't know that side of London. It's not even on air. I
Hey,
wish you
London.
would roll touch mine.
Right.
Hey, London, the snow was piled up to
Yep, I can see.
stop sign height.
Remember, my
She
spirit
pulled-
woke
she
me up.
Pulled up
We
on
pulled
them.
up.
Her spirit woke her up
He
at
did.
3 o'clock in the
Her
morning.
spirit.
Yeah,
Her spirit
I
and
discern
London.
it. Women have it. We just
And
don't
London.
listen to it.
But London,
I was
she
right.
pulled up in the driveway and slid into them
back of the
in
girl-
the
the
car,
girl car.
and bumped them. Boom.
Then get out the car.
Right. And then fought topless.
Yep,
But
I
we-
came. He tried to grab me out of my top. You know, I just came out. of it, and I was
Baby, I bet she learned that day and he
Yeah.
learned too.
Hey, look. So you look. If y'all want to see the full story, y'all go back to earlier episodes
Back
in the shorts, and you can see the full story. Angelica fighting topless in the snow.
I love
I ain't gotta do that no more. I got a good man. Okay, I ain't fighting nobody.
Look, hey, London. That's why I say Angelica's stories are incredible.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you know what though? You know, real talk, and it goes back to you know, men. You know, I gotta say this to the men. We can never ever supplant ourselves for what black women go through, and so we have to be an understanding ear and heart for what our sisters go through and deal with, because you know, and we have to protect them. I always said that the number one job, the only job of men,
Yeah.
black men, is to protect the women and children.
Absolutely.
Facts.
And I'm here with it.
Facts.
Pick up where we left off?
Pick up where we left off.
Pick up where we left off. Woo! All right. So now it's 2022.
Thank God for London, because she can deal with our ADHD.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
line.
And I got it too.
right.
So we back at 2022. We just get through the whole redistricting thing. Now me and Tori, our Representative Harris, are freaking out because now the maps has been submitted and they have us running against each other. And congruently at that same time, Senator Robinson at the time was going through her case. And it was coming to the realization that she was about to transition out.
Not of her own will.
At her right, absolutely. I want to acknowledge that
Yeah.
the Republicans were going to put her out.
And she fought that.
She did. She did.
Fought, you're right.
Yeah, she
We
And rightfully
Representative Harris and I, Representative Parkinson, we showed up at her cases. We did as much support as we could because that was very. Let me. I guess because I've never really spoken about this publicly. I guess this is an exclusive for the the Antonio Parkinson project.
It
But
is, and it is.
that was very hard to watch Katrina go through that court case.
Another trauma.
Another trauma.
This, and for those that you know wasn't as close to it as we were, this is a traumatic, life-changing event that not just only affected. I sat with Katrina and
Right.
and while she cried, you know, as she was going through these things, right? And it doesn't only affect Katrina, but her children,
Yeah.
Right.
parents,
Right.
legacy,
And us and people
And
coming to us
us.
asking like,
Right.
and we don't know. And to this day, I'm actually still confused on what. I just know like it was an issue about her business. I promise I'm still really confused on what their issue is. But it was very hard to watch that black woman go through that.
Right.
And I don't know what really said what happened, but I know I was in that courtroom when she got that guilty verdict on one charge or something like that about a paperwork issue,
For how
which
much?
was also
for lots of chump change.
like, and that was
Of her
even
own
scary
money,
to
of her
watch
own
because
money.
I'm like, I truly believe if Katrina was not black and she was white, she would not be going, like, that wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah.
I really feel that she was targeted, and that's just my opinion about it. You know, I think that it brought to light of how careful black people have to be when you get
Yep.
grants and start
Double
nonprofits.
careful.
That's actually
Or
why I
when,
want.
or when you're in these positions.
Yeah, that's
Double.
why I don't have a non, like, that's watching her go through that is one of the reasons why I don't start my own business and I don't try to have a nonprofit or apply for grants for the most part, because I don't want to give the opposite side any reason to come attack me.
That's unfortunate,
Even if
though.
it's like, cause nobody's perfect. So if you make
Yeah.
like, who knew one mistake could be life ending?
Honest mistake.
Yeah, I
Honest
like
mistake.
whatever was going on, you know. So I just kind of like, if I'm not working for somebody who's responsible for doing their own stuff, like, I don't really want to touch that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, nevertheless, like, it was coming. And so, you know, we're looking at like now me and Tori pitted to go against each other. And then, but if the issue of Katrina is going to be removed by the Republicans, one of us can go over here and then the other one can have the House seat.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Dominoes again. Remember we
Dom-
just talked about this earlier. Domino effect.
so the problem was, for the longest, Tori was telling me to go do it. And I was saying I was trying to wait to really consider that because I wanted to see if Katrina was going to make it through. Because there's no point in considering it if she's going to make it through this process. I actually had some hope. So I told him, wait, just chill. We're the most formidable candidates anyway. If that happens, chill. So once we realized everything happened, I have all these people coming to me like, run for the seat, run for the seat, run for the seat. Her district overlaps part of my house district at the time. So I was like, okay, it aligns. I was born and raised in Hickory Hill. It's the heart of the district. All of these things, it just makes sense. So I decided to run for the seat, and unfortunately, Tori Harris decides to run for the seat as well. And at this time, it's an appointment right now because they expel her in the middle of session. So now we have to go before the Shelby County Commission to go for this seat. And I go to Katrina once. Believe it or not, I didn't make the decision to run for the seat to the very last minute. I wasn't going to do it at first. And my best friend was telling me to do it, all of this other stuff. I was like, nah, I was really scared. And then one day I was in the bed and like God would not let me sleep. Like for real, like I could not sleep. And the idea, he did not let it go. He not let it go. He was like, run, 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 run.
That's what happened to Angelica.
See,
when
they
she-
think
when
they
she
think
hit
I
the
be
people
talking
in the
about.
snow.
He think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
When she went
Yeah,
fucked
yeah,
the girl in the
yeah,
snow.
yeah.
Get up.
Your
get up,
intuition,
get up,
no.
Get up.
I promise you, all the men, look, let me tell you, I done let a lot of dudes slide off intuition, but that's not the
I'm
point.
scared to cheat.
Yeah, you should be.
It was,
Right. I
yeah,
ain't
you
got
should.
I ain't got nobody.
My baby daddy better be scared.
Right. Your intuition gonna wake you up.
Yeah.
And they,
We just don't listen. That's the
Right.
downfall for her. We don't
right,
listen.
we don't listen.
Yeah.
But no, all jokes aside, I just like, all right, fine, I'm gonna go ahead and apply for it. So at that time, you know, Tori's like, I'm going for it too. Now I'm like, damn, now we about to be pitted each other again for this seat.
Yeah, we
So
had
I'm feeling
we
a certain,
mediators at the time too.
so I'm feeling a certain type of way because truth of the matter is, I felt like you just got here and I've been here a little bit longer, and my district actually overlaps with hers. Like you would think, like
It makes sense.
it would make sense for me to do it, but at the same time, I couldn't really say that because he has a right to go for it, and he did. So I go to her and tell her, like, look, sis, this is hard for me to come to, because she's already experiencing this tragedy. So now I'm trying to do the respectful thing by letting her know I'ma go for her appointment. And she tells me like she's not gonna support me. She gonna support Representative Harris. And she was just like, you know, she basically said that you're not the person I want to have my seat. And she felt like that I was trying to have a come up move versus being genuine about the seat. And I was trying to explain, no, that's not it. And I get that. Like I understood her frustration. I didn't get mad about it at all. I said, I understand. I just want you to know I'm gonna still do it, and I have enough respect for you to let you know up front. this is what I want to do, and I'm going to pick up where you left off, because we aligned on we championed a lot of the same issues. She was a nurse, I was doing women's health care, we both was pushing for criminal justice reform. She sat on judiciary, I sat on judiciary in the House. Like, you know, we aligned on all the issues. And the reality of the situation is, I thought I was a damn good legislator. And I felt like I was competent enough to step into a Senate seat and continue the work that I was doing in the state house. I felt like I was the most competent person to step into that role. That's just how I felt about my capacity, my leadership. And it was no pawn to my colleague, who I love to death. That's my boy, you know, so I don't want to say me pumping up is a downplay to him. That's not it at all. I just talk about who I feel like I am. And so I went forth. And because we were both running against each other, I never went public about my desire for the seat. The only reason people knew is because the media picked up, because I had to put an application in. But I didn't do no public campaign for it.
Yeah.
I talked to my county commissioners. Come to appointment day at the county commission. I'm scared, you know. I'm pitching my you know, to the county commissioners or whatever. To make a long story short, it come down to 6-6 between me. So by this time, Representative Harris didn't make it through one of the rounds. I did. So now it's me against this lady named Brewer, Ronnie Brewer.
Yeah, Ronnie Brewer.
And whoever's pushed her campaign had cut a deal with the Republicans and a few Democrats who on the commission who usually align with the Republicans. And I had a lot of the Democratic stronghold. So now it's 6-6 on this appointment for Katrina's seat. And I would say not her seat, it's the Senate District 33 seat. And one Republican is on his way in to vote to be the tiebreaker. So everybody's in recess till he comes. So I go on in the back, I'm calling everybody. And I can't name names out of respect for these Republicans, but I call some asking them to advocate on my behalf, make phone calls. And there was one in a very high ranking seat that made a phone call for me. And then a local, I'm actually gonna give a shout out to him. He's not in office no more. Mayor Strickland made a phone call to some folks on my behalf to say, if you would give her some consideration, I think she would be the good person for the job.
Yeah.
And in that moment,
Strickland.
shout out to Jim Strickland.
Yeah.
You know, people say what they want about him, but he behind the scenes was actually been one of my biggest supporters. He's like, I believe in you. I love what you're doing. Even your feistiness, I stand for. You're Memphis first. Like, I love it. So anyway, I end up flipping his vote because Ronnie Brewer actually had his vote at first. They cut a deal with the Republicans. They flipped because Republicans were actually like, no, we want London.
We want London.
Yeah. Shout out, and they know who they are, and they know who they are if they're ever watching this.
Right.
Again, thank you.
But London, this goes to show the importance of working across the aisle. Because you know, you never know when you're gonna need that
and I didn't compromise
Right.
either.
And
I
you
never
don't have to
promised them
compromise.
anything.
Right,
They did it
right.
after good.
Right.
I want people to know I ain't never
Yeah.
promised anything.
Right.
If you watch how I voted, what I did, I ain't never take a vote that I won't stand on or nothing. They just believed in what I was doing and respected me as a legislator.
Right.
And I thank them for that. So I get into this. I walk into the Senate seat. And I'm there, and I become the youngest woman, the youngest African American to ever serve.
Woo, y'all give it up for that.
Thank
bro.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
She
And
is
so I
London
finish out the
Lamar.
session, and I roll into campaign season to keep the seat. And so the young lady who got the other 6, I met with her, and this is what another attempt that I've say I really tried to align with Black women. I met with her, and I was like, I'm gonna run for the seat. I want it already. I don't want us to have to run against each other. Like, is there something else I can support you with? And I was the one that, and I wasn't even the one that called the meeting. It was her people that hit me up. Was like, y'all want to meet? And I was like, yeah. I thought it was a good idea. I'm like, that's how you do it.
Right.
But nah, she was like, no, I'm running against you. You didn't deserve the seat. That's the guy told me I need to run. Blah 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 blah. And that's just her. I didn't take offense to it or nothing like that. I said, okay, sis, I'ma hate to have to do this to you.
Hate to have to murk you.
I hate to have to murk you. Because I know how I campaign. It was less to do with her. It was more about me. when I campaign, like I told you, the first one,
How you
I
started
know.
off? How you started
I
off?
turned it. I went back to ground 0 I
From
had
the
no
beginning to the
job.
beginning, yeah.
I went. It was like 2018 all over again.
You already know how to do it.
I had a little campaign manager I brought on, but I taught her the game, and we ran the hell out of my campaign.
Yep.
Again,
Yep.
canvassing every day from 10 to 4.
Right.
I knocked on every door in a Senate district, which is 3 times the size of a House district.
Right.
And now I got more respect with it. So I'm getting PAC checks. I'm getting regular donors. Like I'm raising I raised about $100,000 because now my influence is greater, but my work ethic is still the same.
Right. Yeah.
And so now I am prepared to fully walk into a Senate campaign and be able to put the best foot forth. And I'm not cocky enough. Like, I didn't think I just had it. Even though I was confident I could win, I never took a win for granted. I earned every single vote that I had. I was on a poll every 14 days, all day in that sun. Like, Parkinson to tell you, and you not going to outdo me. I train. Let me tell you, I train for elections. I canvass because not only is effective, but I get in shape. Because when
How many steps did you have a day?
Oh,
Hey,
baby, I lose about 20 pounds. For real. Dead serious. It's the best weight loss ever. I love campaign time. I get skinny.
Weight loss and
Right.
So anyway, I'm just like working really hard. Like I remember one time my opponent had 9 people on my 2 on the pole. Like I'm dancing circles around all of them.
Man,
Cause I'm running. Like let me tell you, that athletic stuff, that come in handy during the campaign. I'm for real.
Man, what? Yeah.
And we win in a 3-way race with 68% of the vote.
68%. Y'all give it up for that.
Thank you.
That's an ass whooping.
That's a mandate.
That's an ass whooping.
And we here. And 3 weeks after I got elected to the Senate, guess who got pregnant again?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
She was
That's
celebrating.
celebratory.
She was celebrating.
You're just celebrating too far. You lost control.
Not the primary though. It was a general. It was
On some more. Right.
shout out to Nightly.
Right. Oh, look. Now look. That is the
Hilarious.
baby of the Tennessee legislature, right?
Yes.
Nyland being in everybody's office.
I see
right?
your baby on the floor. I said that's motivation.
Right.
She brought her baby. But I asked
Right.
Parkinson. I said,
Right.
she got a nanny.
Man, Nyland all up
You
in
got a
the
nanny? Your mom come.
Yeah, she's like available.
Can you hear my mom? You hear that, right? She doesn't have a
But
nanny.
a lot of people, it's not that I don't. If I need the help, I got it.
Yeah.
What people need to understand, I want him there.
Yes.
I do
Yes,
not
come on, man.
want to be away from my
Yes.
child from any moment. And the few weeks I have left him behind, because I know I'm having a very intense session week.
Right.
I am sick about
Yep,
it.
Man,
Like-
listen,
I
told
cried
her,
on vacation. Okay,
I told London,
cried.
when you have this baby, your life is going to change.
It's changed, baby.
Right.
I'm like the hardest, softest person you've ever met in life right now. And it's like,
It's funny.
I know that it is a privilege for me to be in the legislature. They can't tell me I can't have my son in my office. So I know I can have him there. But I pray to God for a second chance of being able to experience motherhood. Like I wanted children. And I'm thinking like, I got all of these titles, like youngest, like I'm not going to die without leaving it to somebody.
Yeah.
Without leaving a
come on,
legacy and for
yeah.
somebody to take advantage of it. On top of, I think mom is the greatest job on earth.
It's the greatest privilege.
It's the
Hardest
greatest
and
privilege on earth.
Yes.
It's the greatest privilege on
Bring
earth.
life
And
into this world.
man,
Man.
like,
You know, let me pause you for a second
Okay.
because I got this on social media where they talk about how many. First of all, and y'all just follow me on this. So you talk about the amount of sperms that it takes to fertilize an egg. No. Follow me on this seriously. The amount is millions of sperm cells that go to fertilize egg. Only one fertilizes the egg out of the millions, right?
That sound about right.
And so that one that helps to bring this life into fruition, right? Think about the millions of lives that could have been that did not happen.
Yeah.
You follow me? And so the privilege of motherhood, the privilege of life, the privilege of us being here,
Yeah.
because millions did not make it.
Right.
Millions
Yeah.
Right.
did not make it.
right.
And that's real talk. Seriously.
Right.
So you think about that and you put it in perspective, the fact that you brought this baby Ford, who I love. Wait a minute,
I
he's
wanna
in the,
see
he's
it
in
now,
he's in
Laura.
the surround sound challenge, you know, and the JID challenge. Right.
I love he is
Right.
everything,
Right.
and you know it's weird because it's like it really reconfirmed my that motherhood and maternal health is my calling in the legislature.
Amen.
What God put me there,
Amen.
because for me to get pregnant by accident, none of them were planned. After getting elected to the next office again, it's like God is basically telling me like, no, you the mama, and I own that with pride. So you know now I'm coming out this tough election. You know, and amending my relationship with Rep Harris. And I'm glad he got the seat. Shout out to him.
Right. Shout out to Tori Harris.
But you know, one conversation I think I need to take upon myself to have is I need to talk to Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
We have never spoken since the day
Yeah.
I was appointed, and I know she feels a certain type of way about.
But she's going through healing too.
Exactly, and I
Right,
never
right,
bother
right.
her, and I've never
Right,
said
yeah.
it, and I hope that she never once think that me extending being in this role now was stepping on what she was going through. It was it really was not about that, and I pray for her a lot. And,
But look into the camera. Tell her what
it's
you want to
bigger
tell
than
her.
both of
Tell-
you.
yeah,
look into the
I
camera and
definitely
tell her
I
what you wanna
pray
tell
for her. I wish her nothing but good, and I hope that she's healed, and she seems like she's thriving. She look good. I
Right,
see her
right.
all the time. Her
Right.
waist is like off the chain right now. I really want to ask what you're doing.
Right.
But at the same time, I really regret that there was never a conversation after that. And there needs to be a conversation after that, because I don't want to be in a situation where there needs to it's not really any animosity, but we don't speak.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it needs to be like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen her, we speak to each other, we see you out, but we've never talked.
Yeah.
And so I think that needs to happen, because again, I talked about how I don't like how black women don't get along and things like that. And I can't be the one that's like, at least not reaching out and stuff. So I need to take the time to do that, but I'm gonna do that one day.
Hey, real talk, you know, so, and I'm gonna close the show here, but real talk, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when London was going through her trauma, you would never have gotten this out of London Lamar. Man, London Lamar was
I've
ready
grown.
to lash out at everything and everybody. So, you know.
Nyland did it. Like,
Right.
that was like, I was still angry in life, and my son is the reason that I really could just breathe again.
Isn't that something? That's absolutely amazing.
That's
How
beautiful.
Lord sends life,
Yes.
and and someone so innocent,
Yeah.
so innocent and pure, unblemished, and it just makes you see things just totally differently. Then and understand what is important.
Yes.
What should be priority, right? And it makes you put in perspective, all of this shit that's going on around you, the chaos going on around you, and you really realize that shit don't even really matter. You know what's important? This baby having an opportunity at real life. So look, hey, you've been watching the Antonio Parkinson Project, powered by Black Market Strategies.
Yes.
We have had the superstar,
Yes.
the
Yes.
State Senator London Lamar in the building. Give her a shout out. Yeah. And I want to thank my wonderful co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Kojak in the building. And, and this has been a wonderful show. And y'all make sure y'all like, follow, share, but more importantly, subscribe, because the numbers matter. We are the fastest growing
Yes, we are.
visual podcast in the Memphis market. Yeah, give it up for that.
Give it up for that.
Yeah.
Doing numbers.
And look, make sure y'all follow us next week. Who we got? Otis Sanford next week. We got Otis Sanford in the building.
That's gonna be a
next
good
week. That's gonna be
conversation.
hot. Yep. And then I think we got Tammy Sawyer coming up.
Yes, we do.
We got the
Tammy
next
Sawyer
week.
is next
Okay,
week.
Tammy
Them
next
together,
week.
Michelle.
Otis Sanford coming. We got the Yvonne and David AC coming, and we got others coming. So y'all make sure y'all watch the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson with my lovely co-host Angelica Woods, DJ Kojak in the building, and we are out. We'll see you next week.